We're going on a New York food marathon sharing the best street food and restaurants of 2024 in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens. Hope you brought your appetites. We're gonna eat.
Joey Rose's may look like your average dive bar from the outside, but they've got a sandwich special you need to know about. Awesome. Yeah, I want to get one of the Rosies, one of the Dads, your $3 lager, and a Coke. All right, so we're gonna cheat a little bit. $3 beers. It doesn't count towards the cheap eats. Cheap drinks. So this place is called Joey Rose's after a famous comedian, Joe DeRosa, who owns this bar. And you could see his touch is on a lot of the things around here, very retro vibes. This is cool. You wait for your sandwich to get made, play a little Mortal Kombat. When I was a kid, I used to play Mortal Kombat 2 at Pizza Hut all the time. I was really good. I forgot a few things. 30 years. I lost.
First off, we bake this bread every morning. We import the flour from Italy. It's a secret recipe, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. We're gonna do the Rosie. Mayo, a little American cheese, some nice imported mortadella, Italian bologna with pistachios in it. And what makes our sandwiches great is the eatability, as I like to call it. So everything is paper thin. It doesn't fall out the bottom like most sandwich spots do. And then you rush to eat it because you don't want to have it fall out the back. And next thing you know, you didn't enjoy your sandwich, you just rushed it. Now you're full. Slices of tomato, some hot cherry peppers, a little Joey seasoning, which is just oregano, pepper, and sea salt, Sicilian sea salts. There you go. Some really good extra virgin olive oil. From a balloon here. Look at that. Cured meats, we got mortadella, Genoa salami. Everything's paper thin. And again, that plays a huge part in how it eats and what separates us from everybody else. It's the same thing as if you have a recipe and you have a beautifully diced onion or you have a big ass piece of onion. The beautifully diced onion is gonna change the way that whole dish eats. This is some beautiful ham from Italy, some beautifully sliced onions, tomatoes, shredded Asiago, and these beautiful hot peppers that we make from scratch. Touch of Joey seasoning. You can see the layers in this one. This is beautiful. That's a sandwich.
I can wholeheartedly tell you I've never eaten in a New York City establishment what looks like those old microwave TV dinner trays. This is already a win for me, but look how much meat you get for that too. That also has impressed me so much. And the amount of prep they put into it, 2 days to bake this bread. Like you could cut so many corners if you want to in a bar, and I don't think anybody would complain, but here they're not cutting any corners. We're gonna try 2 different sandwiches. The Rosie, you saw it get made. Let's rock on this. This is the kind of sandwich I'd order at a nice Italian deli, not at a bar. Wow, bread. So soft, airy, and the mortadella and the cheese, everything else is blending together. Thinly sliced meat, really key. I know they kept talking about it. I read really good reviews, but sometimes you have to come somewhere yourself to actually try it. From like the hot cherry peppers, the mayo, the oregano, it's just a smooth bite. Right, now we're moving on to the Dad, because you know Dad wants more than one meat in his sandwich. We got the mortadella, Genoa salami, ham, provolone, Dahlia onions, Asiago tomato, hot cherry peppers, olive oil, salt, pepper, oregano. So really a prototypical New York Italian deli sandwich. Also included in that $10 club. Ooh, you need like a big bite here. Just a meat explosion there, wow. I think I went through all of them in one bite. It was difficult to do, but because the bread is so soft, easily accomplished. This really reminds me of eating an amazing Italian sub in New York, right here. I think you could come to this bar for that experience and not even have to go to a deli if you don't want to. So I don't know whose dad they named it after, but someone's dad's got good taste. I'm really getting a lot of the provolone cheese at the bottom of this meat stack is hitting me in like the best possible way. Fresh ingredients, made with love here. Can enjoy it at the bar. Can bring in, play some Mortal Kombat. Can go watch Key and Peele, sketch comedy show on TV. And I'm sure the vibe is very different at night as well. In New York, it's hot dogs with beer, but it really should be sandwiches. I think more bars need to do stuff like this. You think you're gonna keep these for $10 forever?
Not the economy keeps going to shit.
All right, so if you did not know any better, I don't think you would just walk in here off the street. You gotta be in the know. East Broadway Mall. I mean, this honestly feels like we're filming one of those abandoned mall videos, and apparently before COVID, this mall was thriving, and unfortunately, a lot of the businesses have now shut down, all right? And you gotta head down the stairs to find the good stuff. Hi, it's one order of the steam buns, please. For you. We are sitting in the basement of what's practically an abandoned mall. If this right here is not the definition of a hidden gem in New York, I don't know what is. And the price too. Look how big the steam buns are. Dripping out some oil here. Heard the legend of this spot, never actually tried it. Soft, pillowy exterior, and look at all that pork just hiding, waiting for us to devour it inside. The pork has a nice savory flavor to it, very oily, very tasty. It's coming out right here. Where's this place been hiding my whole life? I know it's been down here for a long time, and I'm also happy that this has been on social media a lot, because with a location like this, I imagine in the past it was just word of mouth to get customers here. But for a deal this good, $5 for 16 buns, soft, chewy, pillowy. This is the kind of food that makes me want to take a nap after, man. Putting me to sleep in the best possible way, of course. I think you would totally feel like an insider if you took your friends or family here. I mean, this place really is a vibe. You have a lady working here making dumplings behind me. You can hear the subway from the tracks right above the mall. Just a few people walking through. The definition of a hole in the wall, but the quality is way better than you would expect. This place is a surprise, big time. You know, after that experience down there, I wonder what other treasures this nearly abandoned mall hides. This might be one of the best cheap eats deals I have ever heard of in New York. And we've actually filmed next door at Olfactory Art Keller, the only museum in the world where you smell the exhibits. So head there first and then eat some amazing dumplings next door. It'll be my first time here. Hello, the $5 dumplings, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Hi.
All right, for $5, feast your eyes on this. What's crazy was there was a huge line when we first got here. There is one magical table. Consider yourself lucky if you can sit here, okay? Because they were mobbed. I even heard an Amazon driver, he said, $5 for dumplings, all right. He's jumped in the line. So they move super, super quick. So what looks like a long line is not gonna last that long. I mean, this is the first time in a while I've actually been eating before we even put this on camera. I was just so hungry looking at it. 15 pork and chive dumplings. This is an easy split for 2, even 3 people. A little char on the bottom. I'm liking what I see. We've done videos on dumpling crawls in Chinatown before. Somehow, never went here. Let's give it a whirl. Very interesting texture because I'd say like half of it on this side is fried, and then on the other side, much softer. It creates a really interesting balance. When you see old grandmas in the back working hard, that's what it's all about in New York. Local businesses like that definitely catering prices to the community because they easily can raise prices. And this quality for the money, this I think is one of the best deals in New York City right now. And I know they've been getting a lot of attention on social media. I saw a big crowd before, so I'm not the first person to report on them, but they are doing the community such a good service with the quality of this food. It really tastes homemade to me. I'll be honest, some of the dumplings don't have as much filling as the others, but I think they churn them out so fast. You get some that have a lot like this one. I actually think the lady may have set a record for fastest service I've ever seen in New York. We didn't time it, but it felt like 20 seconds and the dumplings were just ready. I think they had 15 ready to go. That, and they also sell, I believe their pork buns are very cheap, and that was selling equally as fast as the fried dumplings, but you really can't go wrong at a little spot like that. Not when you've got the hardworking grandmas slinging them out back there. Would I call this the best pan-fried dumpling I've ever had in New York? No, I wouldn't go there. Would I call this, though, the best deal in New York City? Now we're getting into a debate that we could possibly have. But either way, you will not be upset coming over here, spending $5. Jin-mei dumplings, something so addicting about these. Can't help myself. High so bad. Do that again. Punjabi Deli, a New York institution. This is not the first time we have put them on the channel. It's a legendary cheap eat spot. Open since the early 90s. It originally appealed to cab drivers. Now everybody comes here. It has become a legendary spot in the East Village. You can smell that goodness from out here. This place never fails. Just the smell right away. Never changes. We'll just do a small bowl of rice with spinach and the chickpeas, number 1, number 2, and a samosa. $10? Okay. One of the best $10 meals in New York. One of my life goals is to make it on the wall of the Punjabi Deli, okay? That's how you know if you've made it. True story, they were actually in danger of closing back in 2020 during the pandemic, and in a single weekend, their customers raised $38,000 to keep them open. So just because a deli like this serves cheaper options does not mean that their customers are not as loyal as a super expensive place. Because I know a lot of folks that swear by Punjabi Deli for quick serve food. And before the pandemic, it was actually a 24-hour spot. You can come here after partying in the Lower East Side or East Village. Now they close at 10. Things have changed a lot in the city though since 2020.
Open 34 years, 1990.
1990?
Yeah, 75% my neighborhood people come, local the
75% locals. So it's everybody. Every color, every religion, everybody. Vegetarian Indian feast. Woo. Oh, these stools have been here forever. I think it's the same stool as the last time I came, like 5 years ago. True story, when I was here the last time with my wife Adriana, who's from Mexico, I think they thought that she was Indian, and they made her dish so much spicier than mine. It was hilarious. We're gonna start things off with the samosa, which has some potatoes and some veggies inside. Let's rock. Soft and chewy, very hearty too. This probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind in Manhattan for a grab-and-go snack, but it's actually not a bad option. This bed of rice here with the spinach, mustard on top, and the chickpeas on the side. All right, let's give this a whirl. Well, definitely got a little spicy kick to it. It's like your long-lost Indian uncle just made you an after-school snack. It's 4 o'clock. So many flavors going on as we dip into the chickpeas here. And as far as cheap eats is concerned, I just realized this is probably one of your healthier options in New York. This is a no-frills spot. Come as you are. You'll be surrounded by all different types of people, as he was saying, all different races. A lot of people live in the area. Cab drivers, Uber drivers like to pop in. Very hearty meal here for $7, okay? I've been lucky that every time I've come here to film, been able to get these 2 chairs, every time. The manager was telling me that it used to be 50 cents for a samosa when they opened in 1990 and 50 cents for a tea. Now it's $3 and $2.50. So if we think about inflation, we look at the value for how much food we have gotten for $7, $3 on this, $10 total. I think it is still a good deal. Prices though are going up, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this video very easily, even in a year or two, to try to keep the budget at $10 or less, but we'll keep trying. How much street food can we eat for $100 in New York City? Today we'll be feasting our way through the world's most diverse neighborhoods, sampling food trucks from around the world, and the results may just surprise you. Will we uncover culinary gold and find the best street food in the city? Let's find out. I've got Greg, native New Yorker, local food guide, and the first truck we are going to, maybe the most unique in all New York City.
Yeah, so it's actually a Paraguayan Venezuelan truck. Paraguayan food is already very hard to find in New York, so I'm very excited to check this out and try it out.
This is fusion Paraguayan Venezuela street food because my wife is from Venezuela, so we're making a fusion for both countries.
Gracias. All right, man. That burger looks cooked perfectly. It's like perfectly like medium rare, just how I like it. Look at all the layers.
Well, that's why they call it La Mostra. This is a show. This Mostra sandwich is a microcosm for my life, just a complete mess. But
double burger here. We have cheese, we have egg, we have chorizo, chicken, I believe, in here. 4 different sauces, lettuce, tomato. This is a nice looking bun here.
If you can keep this all together like Greg's doing, I'll be impressed.
Let's do it.
I got a big part of the burger there. I would have just enjoyed the burger by itself. It's that good. Cooked about medium rare, medium, like, oh, I've tried a couple of the meats right now. I think each of them could hold their own.
Chorizo's very nice in here. I think that's the one thing that's missing is just about 5, 6, 7 plus beers in, and having this after would be perfect. This is the ultimate, I think, after drinking food. I just got a nice bite of garlicky flavor in that chorizo. It's very nice.
Also, I have to say, how obnoxious of us is it to be eating this in front of a Planet Fitness?
If you're a bodybuilder, so if you want to bulk up, a lot of protein in here.
With all the food involved today, I really thought, I'll take a few bites of this, I'll save it for later, I'll bring it home, but here we are scarfing it down. It's like we can't stop. This is an addicting sandwich.
Yeah, it really is.
The bread, fantastic. All those juices, the runny egg, it's all soaked in.
I love the way it was cooked perfectly too, like really adds to it.
I'll say I didn't have Venezuela and Paraguay on my dance card for a combination food truck, and we are eating the Venezuelan part of the truck right now with La Mostra. And that's really popping up a lot in Jackson Heights. A, Venezuelan food. B, humongous sandwiches, right?
So I'll say like another big trend around here in Jackson Heights especially are extravagant burgers with multiple meats on it like this one. So you see a lot of like Colombian burger trucks, Venezuelan burger, now you have here. But they set up outside a lot of bars and clubs on Northern Boulevard at night until 5 a.m. some nights.
So this is the location on Roosevelt Ave till 6 p.m. You want to go late night till 5 a.m. As Greg said, Northern Boulevard.
You whacked this already? I thought I ate fast, wow.
All right, sandwich de lomito, the steak sandwich, and this is the Paraguayan classic.
Yeah, from Paraguay. So I was watching an episode of Anthony Bourdain. He ate this very late night after drinking. Very thinly sliced steak with egg, ham, cheese, and bun is pressed on the bottom.
The runny egg on top as well, which I think is the missing link on any good sandwich. All right, let's rock, let's try it. I mean, just like La Mostra, there is a lot going on in here, but I don't know. I think growing up in the US, you eat a steak sandwich, you eat a burger, you're not adding ham, you're not adding an egg, and it really does make a difference.
It does. And I do like the sauce here is very garlicky. And the steak is more, it's a little bit of chew to it, but it's meant to be that way because it's thin slice. It actually feels a lot lighter than what we just ate. That's what's crazy comparatively.
This is the ultimate drinking food, I'm telling you, man. Next time, we're gonna go like at 3 or 4 in the morning, late night street food in Queens. 41 bucks here, and this is like enough food to last for 2 meals, I would say.
Oh, easily.
I mean, the owner was telling us, but this is one of the coolest looking trucks. Like, people are just walking by, snapping photos of this.
Elements of Paraguay and Venezuela are incorporated into the artwork.
For anyone who didn't know, Jackson Heights is the most diverse neighborhood, I'll say, on planet Earth. We've got 200 different languages spoken today in Queens, and Fushka House, I think, is a perfect stop.
It is. It's a really popular cart. They actually have 2 locations on this block, and this block has 5 different carts selling similar dishes from Bangladesh.
Fushka Alley here, and rename the street.
Have to rename the street, yeah.
Enjoy. Thank you.
All right, let's go eat it. Let's go eat.
Now, I've done the fushka thing so many times with you and others, but this is my first time eating bell puri. We got 2 things I've never tried before. Let's go through them.
Yeah, the bell puri is very interesting. It's very thin, fried on the bottom. There's chickpea spread on top. There's tamarind sauce. There's cucumber, a little bit of cilantro, chopped red onion. Now, not every cart here sells this either.
I'm only saying this because my wife is from Mexico, but it looks a little bit like a tostada, like a Bengali tostada.
Yeah,
Let's do this. A lot of the seasonings and flavors that I'm used to from the fushka, but a completely different surface. Just that crunchy surface of this, of the bell puri, is just phenomenal.
It reminds me a lot, flavor-wise, of doubles, except it's not in a sandwich form, and that it's more like open-faced and crispy, because you do have the chickpeas, the tamarind, and the cucumber in there. Very similar taste.
I'm telling you, the Bengalis know how to do flavor. Like, it's just right. There's so much of it, it all works very well together.
Just a textural masterpiece, too. You have sweet, sour, spicy. You have crunch from multiple things, not just the shell, but also the cucumber.
And you finish that in like 20 seconds.
I could have finished it even faster than that.
I don't know if I can think of much better value for 13 bucks in New York than 2 foods we got right here on the street. Vegetarian as well.
Everything they serve here is vegetarian.
Well, we kind of alluded to it before, but Bangladesh Street, did they add that recently?
Yeah, that's pretty recent. This block has so many Bangladeshi businesses, like culminating on this block with all these Bangladeshi street food carts.
Lately on weekends, you're starting to see people who aren't necessarily locals at Jackson Heights coming and doing these little informal food tours, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been seeing more people slowly. I mean, this is not really a heavily touristed area, but people are slowly starting to realize all the great food we have here in Queens, especially Jackson Heights.
I don't know what's taking them so long, but yeah. All right, so this is more of a dessert, right?
It's like sweet and savory.
Definitely not your typical dessert, I have to say, but that's really, really good.
It's got a bit of mustard oil in there, a little bit of masala spice, and the mango itself is actually more ripe, so it's a little sweeter. Some of the other mango chaat you get around here is more of the crunchy green mango. I actually like the sweet one with this pairing, so you get sweet, savory, a little spicy.
Look at the speed of this guy eating. You've clearly been here a few times.
Mm-hmm. Does it remind you of all like Mexican, like you have like mango with like tahini, chamoy kind of thing?
Yeah, I actually could see that for sure. It's amazing when you eat so many different foods from different countries, you start to see little similarities.
Mm-hmm. I like the sweet and savory mango combination from several countries. It always works out well.
So the owner brought out some chais for us just on the house, something that you can also order here. A palate cleanser, right?
Mm-hmm. Just the right amount of sweetness, creamy. A little bit of that underlying spice too, a little bit of that clove, cardamom, ginger.
I don't think there's anything we had here that didn't have a lot of spice in it. Greg, they say that New York has cuisine from every country in the world, and I think this food truck is a perfect example of that.
For sure. This is the first Bhutanese food truck in New York City, maybe even the world. I mean, Bhutan is a very small country, Himalayas, very interesting food. Excited to show you the spot.
Tibetan people and Buddhist people use this kind of thing on the bowl, you know. I believe so. It can bring a good luck, you know. From great-great-parents from Bhutan, but I was born in India.
What does Emma Datsi mean?
Ema, it's chili. Datsi is the cheese.
Is there a big Bhutanese population here?
Not more than Bhutan.
Is there any part of the U.S. that has a lot of Bhutanese, like more Bhutanese people?
New York City is more.
New York City's the most?
I'm thinking we gotta go with the Amadachi. It is the national dish, yeah.
Okay.
And spicy is good.
The spice is
Spicy,
I
yeah.
mean, well, am I gonna handle it? I mean, medium. You know, I can honestly say I have never eaten Bhutanese food in my life. I'm guessing most of my viewers probably haven't either. That's Greg's patented move if you haven't learned yet. Not going on here. We heard the national dish of Bhutan. Why do you like this so much?
I think it's just something very unique. It has cheese, butter. This one actually has the green chilies, but you can get it with different meats. There's a lot of options here.
Fun fact, Bhutan is one of the only countries in the entire world that uses chili as a vegetable, not as a spice. All my vegetarians watching, this is for you.
You have this really nice red rice here, which has like a nice earthier flavor. And on the side here, you have, it's called ize. This is like a green chili with, supposed to be like a special Bhutanese cheese, but don't have it here, so they actually swap in feta cheese.
We've been instructed to mix every single thing together. Oh, it's not too spicy for me.
This chili is not spicy.
For the Bhutanese, okay.
Yeah, organic red chili.
That's spicier.
Definitely feeling the heat. A lot of flavor though, and really different than I was expecting.
What I really get right away is the crunch of the peppers. I love the texture of it. And it's actually the two types of cheese, the feta from the ize and then the other cheese from the emadashi itself. It's not as heavy as you'd think, considering there's cheese and butter in here.
When was the first time you tried this food?
I tried this like a while back. There was a Bhutanese restaurant not far from here in Woodside, but I actually like it even more at the truck.
I think this is an excellent value too for 10 bucks. All this food, trying something different. It's interesting because I see momos, which are very Tibetan. I see a dosa hybrid of food here.
But the nice thing is it's a lot of strictly Bhutanese dishes here. So you have a lot of the variations of emadachi. You can get it with beef or pork, potato, mushroom, or the green chilies. So it's something for everybody. If you're vegetarian or if you like meat, you have both options.
If you like the street food you saw in this video and you want to come explore Jackson Heights in person, check out Greg's food tours, link down below in the description. I have had so many of you go on them and tell me it was the highlight of your trip. Give it a look.
Yeah, please come join us. Love to have you on a tour.
There's a reason they call Jackson Heights Himalaya Heights amongst its many nicknames, and a truck like this, I think, shows that.
Definitely. So this is a Tibetan momo truck, so there's a big Tibetan, Nepali, and smaller Bhutanese community here, all in the Himalayas.
They're really known for their momos, which if you've never had one before, could possibly change your life.
You can't really have momos like the Tibetan style in there, the taste and everything wise. A lot of momos here, if you like open it, you see a lot of onions, other ingredients here. But for us, we don't have that. We don't put so we're actually nomad before. So it's like meat eater, right? But the way people judge momo is like the skin. The thinner the skin is the better momo it is. The skin is not we buy from the supermarket. We actually everything from scratch, man.
Get one fried beef momo.
This is how like normal people eat, right? So you go like, look.
The normal people do hot sauce.
Yeah. You see?
Thank you. I gotta do it. I gotta tell you that one of the unintended consequences of all these food videos with you is that my spice and heat tolerance is going up.
True, it's like working out. You gotta strengthen the spice tolerance muscle.
Yeah, it's a muscle. I guess we could call it that. And speaking of spice tolerance, pan-fried beef momos.
Yeah, they're beef, and the outside there's hot sauce and there's a white sauce. So it's like a yogurt sauce, kind of cool it down with the spice. And these are pan-fried to order, which is amazing. Rare to find that.
I was taking the motorcycle to the subway.
So it's very rare to find pan-fried momos in a truck made to order like this. Usually you just get them steamed.
Looks like a bite. That beef, perfectly moist, juicy, complement of the white sauce with the hot sauce, perfect.
I really like this hot sauce that has a bit of that Sichuan peppercorn. It has that little bit of a numbing, like mala element to it. Then you mix it with that yogurt sauce, kind of cool it off a little bit. Then the juicy beef, the skin's not too thick, and pan fried to order. You get that little crisp on the bottom. Really well-rounded, delicious momo.
Momos are to Jackson Heights what a dumpling is to Chinatown. There are so many momo spots. They even have momo crawls of the Momo Championship, right?
Yeah, there's like over 30 places you can get momos, whether it's Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, Woodside, all in this area. Incredible.
Just so fun, just hanging out, eating at street food trucks from around the world, man. I can't think of anything that would personify a day in New York better than this. I'm not going to Times Square. Coming to eat here, the owners are so friendly. They're just so proud of their nation's food.
That's the difference when you come to a neighborhood like Jackson Heights versus somewhere like in Times Square. You know, there's people who really care about the food, and the quality of food is very high. They're making it for locals. They're not gearing to tourists.
Forget that overpriced brunch. Today we're showing you New York's best breakfast street food at price points around $5. This is a Manhattan tour you won't soon forget. We've got Ben, one half of the Bing Buzz, joining us, and we're starting at an iconic New York City breakfast cart. What does this mean to you?
Comfort, especially after my night shift before. This is like what I want to wake up to. After I sleep in the office, wake up in the morning, this is the first place I go to.
And we're starting with Mama Jo, who is an absolute legend in New York.
Well, I used to have restaurants before. I sold the restaurants, and I started here like maybe 40 years ago. I love cooking. You know, some people love golfing, some people love, tennis, some people love shopping. I love cooking. You know, cook is like an art. You have to know and you have to like. Otherwise, don't do it. You will not be successful.
What would you say is the best seller?
They like my spanakopita. If you go to a Greek store, let's say in Queens, you go to a cafe, well, you're gonna buy the spanakopita for $10. I sell my spanakopita for $6. This is homemade. This is from scratch. If I don't make it, how am I gonna sell it if I buy it?
Spanakopita. So it's a puff pastry with spinach and feta. Very famous Greek breakfast. Let's try it. Wow. The spinach and the feta just complement each other perfectly here. This is like blowing my mind. How'd they make the spinach taste so good?
Yeah, it's so creamy, so hearty.
Mama Jo is basically the Greek mom or grandma you didn't know you had, because she's stuffing us with all this amazing Greek food.
I'm Asian, so she can't be my grandma, but she is treating me like her grandson.
I feel like this is a diner menu, first of all. A huge menu.
Huge. That's crazy how all these food just stuffed inside this little cart.
I know. Potato pita, puff pastry with feta and eggs. Let's try it.
Wow.
So warm and hearty. I feel like we just went over her house.
I don't know how this is possible that we're having authentic Greek pastries right here in Midtown Manhattan.
This is the ultimate New York City breakfast outside, and the prices too. A lot of items are $5 or less. Coffee's cheap. Sign me up. Olive bread. Let's try this. You know, she's right. The secret ingredient is a lot of Greek olive oil. You've ever been to Greece? They sell it everywhere for good reason. I shot a video once in Astoria. There was a little Greek cafe that's now closed that served this kind of food, but I would never expect to find this next to Grand Central.
Crazy.
I mean, if you are a tourist and you want to start your trip to New York and you're in Midtown, start it here. She will welcome you with open arms and probably chat with you for 20 minutes.
New Yorkers are friendly, but I don't deal with New Yorkers only. I have people from all over the world that come. News people in Greece, they eat this meal, and in Germany, and in England, in France, and they came here for that.
You've become a tourist attraction in a way.
Yeah, very much so.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and they find me here. I'm not in a tourist place, but they find me, yes.
I watch your YouTube videos.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're the man. He's the man.
He's the man. Who are you?
She's Mama Jo. All right, a little chicken noodle soup. You know how they call chicken soup Jewish penicillin? Mama Jo's version, Greek penicillin.
It's so good. It's like, you ever go on a camping trip as a kid and the best thing you remember is a chicken noodle soup? This tastes like that. It straight warms my soul. I think this is the first smile I cracked all day.
Damn, those are some strong words. And it's the morning. You don't normally think of chicken noodle soup for the morning, but I think we will start thinking about it.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting old. We always go for iced coffee, but this really hits the spot.
I really can't believe the food is this good. I mean, I read it was this good, but I had to taste it for myself.
You know, I have people, they call me Mama Jo for a reason. You know, if somebody comes here and he said, give me a cup of coffee, a small one for 5 sugars, you think I'm going to give him 5 sugar? I will not give him 5 sugar. I'm going to give him 1 sugar. And you know, and people, they see that. They say, Mama Jo is not going to give him 5 sugars. And then they come and say, how's your coffee? I said, different, but I like it. I said, you know why? Because I give you 1 sugar.
Anyone who's ever been to Greece understands the obsession and addiction to frappe, iced coffee, cappuccinos. I drank this twice a day in Greece, and this is tough to find in New York. You ever tried this?
No, I'm freaking excited.
Are you gonna join the club? Only $3. This is definitely my top pick here for a drink.
Holy moly, this is actually really good. What have I been drinking my whole life?
I know. Makes you question your decisions. Homemade baklava taste test.
First time having baklava outdoor in the rain.
Yes, me too. No extra sugar needed, just that honey.
It actually tastes sweeter than the usual baklava too, in a good way. Honey, sweeter and healthier.
You're right, there's definitely a healthy element to this.
Yeah.
A healthy, cheap New York breakfast. That's dessert too. We're just transcending so many different levels here. I got one last question.
Yeah.
How do you keep such a positive attitude all the time?
Because like I say before to you, you have to like what you do. People that go to do any kind of job and they do it for money and they do it because they have to survive, but you can survive doing what you like. I came here, I was a furrier. I was making fur coats. I was making shows all over the country. The fur business stopped, everything stopped. I closed the factory. I said, what's my next best thing? It's food. And that's how, you know, if you can turn what you like to business, then you always have a good attitude.
Words of
and
wisdom,
that's
I like
my
it.
nature too. You have to do, you know, that's my nature also, yeah.
I've been making videos for a long time in New York. I think my experience with Mama Joe's may be one of the most memorable. You?
Hands down, hands down. She gave this little street corner so much life.
Ben, one of the cheapest breakfasts in New York is at a famous hot dog spot, Gray's Papaya. What do you think about this?
I'm pretty excited for it. And I know they serve bacon, egg, and cheese. Very curious to see how many strips of bacon they're gonna give you.
Okay, let's see. So Gray's Papaya was opened in 1973, and there used to be more of these. This is the last one standing, okay?
You eat this every day?
Yeah.
You eat this every day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every day in the morning.
Can I get 1 bacon, egg, and cheese with coffee, 1 sausage, egg, and cheese, and 1 hot dog, egg, and cheese with coffee? Look at that. 5 minutes, $3 for mine, $3.95 for yours.
Wow.
For 3 people, I spent a little over $10. So Ben, what'd you get for $3.95?
$3.95, small coffee, made to your liking, and a whole breakfast sandwich with a hot dog inside. This place is known for its hot dog, so I had to get one.
It's interesting, actually. You don't normally think of hot dogs for your breakfast, at least most people, but Gray's Papaya, this is the king of hot dogs in New York, and we did a whole video reviewing their hot dog in the past, if you want to know how that is. But I guess you can give people a clue based on this breakfast sandwich.
What surprised me is that the hot dog is more pricey than the bacon. Usually it should be the other way around.
You know what? You're onto something here. I guess it's a premium being Gray's Papaya.
Exactly.
So I got the bacon, egg, and cheese on this roll, which I don't know what type of bread it is. $3 with a coffee. This sounds like a bodega special straight out of 2005. I don't know. Sounds pretty cheap to me.
I became a fan when they first had the recession special.
Yeah.
Recession special. 2 hot dogs and a drink, and now they got this. So they win me back.
So yeah, the recession in the morning, and people know about this. They have been busy the entire time we're here. All right, let's give us a whirl.
Let's
try
go.
this. You know what? For $3, 4 strips of bacon in here. Not the best sandwich I've had in my entire life, but like thinking of the value proposition here, really, really good. You're just on the run to the office. I mean, that's cheap.
Yeah, and my sandwich is actually pretty darn good. Creamy cheese and egg, and the hot dog is a hot dog, but you can't go wrong with a hot dog.
So you think it's worth it to pay the extra 95 cents to get the hot dog?
On a good day, I would.
On a good day?
I would. Tax not included. If you really want to be stingy with the math, it's like, how much is a hot dog in itself? It's already $2.50.
Yeah.
So right here, you get a whole sandwich with eggs and cheese and a coffee for $3.95. Pretty worth it to me.
And you get to go to a historic spot like Gray's Papaya.
Yeah, literally the brightest spot here in Upper West Side.
Yeah, you're right. It's gloomy as hell. We're tired, and you have this tropical themed hot dog place.
Yeah, and the best thing is that it's few blocks from Central Park, few blocks from Riverside Park, and right here at the cheapest spot in Upper West Side.
You're right. One of the most expensive neighborhoods in the city.
Yeah.
Known for, as Ben said, their recession special. I've heard people say Katz's Deli has one of the best hot dogs in New York. So we could say a spot like Gray's Papaya has one of the best cheap breakfast deals in New York. Sometimes you go to an Icon and you get something a little bit different, could surprise you. I hate rush hour. I realize I never ever do this. This is like not me.
Pretty bad.
I never film this early. This is so rare. We've got Petey's Cafe. So you've seen the old school. This is the new school breakfast cart of New York. Petey is huge on social media. Quite a character.
How's your day so far?
Oh, you must ask.
crazy
I lost my job a couple of days ago, so now I'm just
Awesome.
like figuring things out. Wait,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Now you get to do whatever the you want.
Yeah, that's true.
So my grandpa, when he came over from Greece, he purchased a hot dog cart. And he used to work here with my uncles, my dad. They all used to do it. And then my dad had purchased one because he saw obviously what was going on. So he purchased one, monkey see, monkey do type of thing. Same thing with me, monkey see, monkey do. So once my dad did the push cart, he retired. And after a couple of years, I came in and I started doing it. And then now we're here. And I just want to market it a little different than everybody else. One day my girlfriend's like, why don't you just start recording this and show people what you're doing? I was never a social media person. I would always consume. I would never plant seeds in there. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's just try it out. And skyrocketed from there, man.
And you got so you're live right now. Could you?
Yeah, I'm live right now. So yeah, every day I'm live. They just keep me company. They're like all my friends now. It's really cool stuff.
What's your favorite thing about this job? You get to interact with New Yorkers all day.
Yeah, interact with people. When it comes to coffee, listen, I have good coffee, but I know nothing about it. I'm not like a coffee connoisseur. I'm not a coffee nerd. I just know regular coffee from diners and from push carts. My main thing is I love talking to everybody.
Yeah.
I love helping people. I love seeing the smile on their face when I charge them $1.75 for a small coffee. Because everywhere else is like too. It's just expensive, bro.
I was thinking of your secret menu item, the Cadillac?
Cadillac?
Cadillac.
I got you. Somebody told me try coffee and hot chocolate, and I thought that was weird. I'm not a big fan of hot chocolate, so I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And ended up making it, and it was just delicious. Yeah, so I made this. I posted on social media. I was like, I don't know what to name it. And somebody says, in jail, they call it the Cadillac. In jail or on the street, and other people that go to Starbucks, or they will tell me it's a mocha. And I was like, I like the street sound better. I like the Cadillac better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it with the real people.
I had to order this Cadillac. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm in the mood for a hot chocolate, but possibly a coffee at the same time. So we're gonna scratch that itch. And you got the iced coffee, which is his best seller.
I like it regular.
All right.
Regular iced coffee.
All right, let's try these out. Ooh, that is way better than I expected. You know, you got the coffee feel to it, but chocolatey flavor. So this is gonna wake me up with the sugar and the caffeine. And as he said, this is not a mocha, which is what you would get at Starbucks. Like I think it's a mix of a cappuccino and chocolate.
No, he doesn't know any of those words.
Yeah, what you see is what you get from Petey. He's not pretending to know about lattes, but what he does there, he does so well.
If I work in this area, I would rather buy breakfast from a guy like that chats you up every single time versus a depressed cashier at McDonald's.
He actually cares about his customers, and this video is about cheap breakfast. This is like one of the cheapest iced coffees in town, right?
I think so. For $2 and change, you get a decent sized iced coffee.
He has a lot of the breakfast staples over there, but he said his favorite was the apple donut. So I want to go with Petey's choice here. Let's give us a whirl. The apple filling is a star here. There's not a ton of it, but what filling they have, sweet and tasty.
You know what could make that better?
What?
This.
A Cadillac. This is a good breakfast right here. Apple donut, Cadillac. You're in business. You're in business pretty cheap in New York.
Learning about Pete and drinking this coffee makes me want to go straight to work right now.
He's like the pep talk you need in the way to work.
Like, give it to me, Pete.
That's what it's all about in the city, like having those local characters. It makes living in New York feel just a little bit more neighborhoody, more local. Both Mama Joe and Petey have Greek backgrounds, okay? Hardworking Greek people, like the backbone of the New York City street food scene. They're the OGs with the hot dog carts. Billy's Hot Dogs near Central Park. I'm looking at you, my favorite hot dog in New York, owned by a Greek immigrant, okay?
Oh, wow.
So when you talk food in New York City, you're probably gonna mention some Greek people.
And I think overall, he's just a really inspirational story. He's making it happen. And he's adding his own little social media twist. And I think in the future, every small business has to kind of work in his direction.
He's been in business since September. That's what I find so interesting. A lot of these businesses, they'll invite influencers in, but he's become the influencer himself. He skipped that step.
Yeah.
That's pretty ingenious. Today we're gonna show you what could be New York's best kept foodie secret. With an incredible mix of global flavors, join us on a mouth-watering journey around 4 continents, one bite at a time here in Sunnyside, Queens. We've got Greg back, native New Yorker and food guide. We're starting a Bolivian llama party, and this sounds like a nightclub somewhere in La Paz. Why this spot?
It does. Well, this is actually the only Bolivian restaurant in New York City, and they're very famous for one specific dish that we're gonna try. Amazing.
My name is David Oropeza, and I'm one of the owners here at Bolivian Llama Party. This is our commissary kitchen, actually. We've been here for about 10 years. It's Dan, Diane, this is Maria.
What are you most well known for?
Probably the salteña, for sure. My brother said it best, it's like a soupy dumpling meets an empanada. There's a lot of ways to describe it, but at the end, it's delicious. It's super good.
So she's braiding them now. This is the culmination of a 3-day process. It starts with making the soup base. That takes a day. The dough, chilling the soup base, and then we fill it and then braid it. So every single salteña that you buy here is hand braided, handmade.
When I hear braiding, I think of hair. I don't think of food.
So the funny thing is the braid represents the cholita braids from Bolivia. And the thing is, if these aren't braided properly, they leak in the oven, they explode. All your 3 days of work goes out the window. So this is the filling that's been cooking. There's chicken in here, peas, carrots, potatoes, an egg, always. Everything on the menu is pretty good. We're a pretty firm believer in like not doing throwaways. Yeah, like everything's got to be good. Our fried chicken sandwich is top 25 for New York Times, and people have been coming to eat that a lot. We had other locations prior to the pandemic in Columbus Circle, in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Pandemic came, wiped us out. This was our last location. It was just the kitchen. We were gonna throw in the towel, and we decided let's just give it a shot. It's now become our best location ever. Thank God, and yeah, we're still kicking.
And is this like a family business?
Family in that it's brothers, yeah.
No grandma in the back,
yeah.
stirring.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'd love that.
I could sleep in a little more.
Yeah.
If grandma was here.
Everything is so bright about Bolivian Llama Party. The napkins are bright, the food is bright, the table is bright, everything's bright.
The sauce, everything.
Yeah.
The flavors are bright too, and you're gonna taste them very soon.
I was telling David, the owner, that I've never tried a salteña before. And this is reminding me of the first time I ever had a soup dumpling. I was a little afraid because when I did it, I burned the roof of my mouth. So we're gonna try to avoid that experience here. But I've heard nothing but good things about salteñas and this spot. All right, coach me through it. He was explaining it.
I'm not really a pro at this. I make a mess of this all the time. I just kind of hang off for dear life.
Shake.
He said shake.
Yeah.
There we go.
Eating's fun, look.
Yeah, that's the pro tip we learned from David.
All I got was the dough and a little bit of the broth, and you just see the steam coming out of the top. Look what we've unleashed.
I gotta say, at first bite, the dough has a bit of sweetness to it too. Natural sweetness in that dough. Very rich.
Wow, so many flavors as you dig more and more. It's like an adventure.
Dave described this perfectly. It's kind of like a meal all wrapped up in one. But I think you really gotta get that green sauce. There's some in there.
I'm gonna put a little in too.
As good as it is by itself, that green sauce really elevates it to a whole nother stratosphere. I could just drink this green sauce by itself. I actually might do that.
Oh, damn. This thing sneaks up on you. A little broth hidden underneath. You take a bite, volcanic eruption of flavor. You know, he said there's so many ways to describe this, like an empanada on steroids. I'm gonna say it's like an empanada meets a nice hearty stew.
I like that.
I can't remember the last time I tried something new that I loved this much. And right now they don't have any indoor seating, but plenty of outdoor seating. Spring is here, summer's around the corner. Hang out here.
Yeah, great vibes here.
Now, because this chicken chicharron sandwich was ranked as one of the top 25 essential dishes in New York City, we kind of had to put it into the video.
Yeah.
And David was saying that this is an ode to the fast food fried chicken culture of Bolivia, but in sandwich form.
Wow. Very juicy.
I think if these guys just did a fried chicken sandwich, they could be competing with KFC and Jollibee, I don't know.
Yeah, and I was reading that the chicken is marinated in a Bolivian beer, which is also very interesting.
All right, bold statement coming. One of the best fried chicken sandwiches I've ever had in New York. I'm trying to think of one I've liked more. You?
I think I'll agree with you there.
And something that he mentioned about the juices, which I completely love, is that they're not too sweet. Just right. They taste more natural, honestly.
Very light, yeah, not too sweet. I don't like anything that's too sweet. It really complements the food here very well. This is one of the best places to eat in Sunnyside, for sure.
What a start to this video. This place is a gem, I have to say. It is so impressed. Greg, we've got soup al shater, which is a killer combo. Lebanese food and a Lebanese market all in one.
Yeah, this is a real Queens gem. You know, when you combine grocery store and restaurant in one, usually it's gonna be good stuff.
All right, let's get in there.
Get 3 chicken shawarma pita and 3 spinach pies, please. So like, it's not just shawarma and grilled meats here, which are always great, but they also have a steam table here. So if you want to eat more vegetables, you're vegetarian, look at all these options here.
That's mouth-watering, watching your meat get sliced up like that. Oof.
If we were eating so much today, I'd be dying to have some of these desserts. I mean, look at all this.
We could have finished the video right here, you know.
We did a whole video on this spot.
I always like any market you can go to. It's super local, like product of Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanese olive oil, that's very cool. You know it's gonna be good.
I could offer to turn up pickle mid-serving. This is gonna taste even better in the falafel. Oh yeah. Oh, what is it? Thank you.
We got some grape leaves as well.
Oh man, I love grape leaves. You know, I have Greek background. These look a little different. These are tightly rolled, it looks like.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What an appetizer.
Got the kind of tangy outside, and you got the savory interior. It tastes a little bit minty inside. Delicious.
I have to say, I love how this is packaged. This is such a good grab and go food, isn't it?
It is. That's what I've done many times here.
Yeah, we've been watching this too long. Let's take a bite already. When I eat a shawarma sandwich, typically, first thing that I notice usually aren't the fresh vegetables. That's the first thing that I felt when I took that bite. And then this delicious chicken underneath.
This is one that takes a couple bites to really process it all. Because you know, you get that first layer of toum, that's the really intense Lebanese garlic spread. You get that. You get 2 layers of pickles. So you get the pickles, the pickled turnips, and you get that little crunch to it too. The meat itself is very delicately seasoned. And he has a little bit of hot sauce in there for a little kick. And I love just the thin wrap. You know, if you're watching your carbs, this is perfect for you. It's very healthy.
We don't normally talk about healthy on this channel. Most of our street food isn't that healthy, but this actually would qualify. I agree. They've got that healthy spread inside. And yeah, pretty thin wrap. So cinematic. Scorsese would be impressed with our choice of filming with the subway running behind us.
If I lived in Sunnyside, I would eat here at least 2-3 times a week. You know, not just getting shawarma every day. We can get like so many great varieties of food in here.
Do you notice a difference, because this is specifically Lebanese? Most of the experiences I've had in the city, I think have been more Egyptian style. This is definitely different. A lot more flavors going on, less heavy on the sauce too.
I mean, because that's more the halal cart style. You know, this is really much like a home style. Like everything they make here, you can tell they put a lot of love into it, a lot of care. That's why it's such a local favorite. You know, people coming in and out as we were there filming.
We almost forgot, for dessert, spinach pie action.
Savory dessert. This is very different than a Greek spinach pie. You know, spanakopita, the Greek style, usually has like feta. And even the spinach here is very tangy. I feel they put maybe some vinegar in here. And the dough is very soft and light.
I'm gonna use the word healthy again, but healthy and tasty snack to go.
Agreed.
This definitely qualifies.
Love it.
And that's how you feel after eating at Souk Al Shater.
I agree.
Greg, we're stepping foot into another continent, Africa, Algeria, with Casbah Cafe.
Yeah, Casbah Cafe. This is a really cool looking spot. Algerian food's not so easy to find here in the city, so this is one of the few restaurants that offers it. Excited to check it out.
Let's go. Wow, it's so cozy in here.
It is.
My name is Halim. Casbah is a very old neighborhood in Algiers. So you can find Casbah in any country in North Africa, but we started in 2015 with Algerian cookies, and then we started physical business, physical place in 2021. But it wasn't a restaurant at the beginning; it was a coffee shop. But we kind of, you know, North African, Mediterranean with a focus on Algerian cookies. Then people start asking for more Algerian stuff, Algerian cuisine, and gradually we turned it into an Algerian traditional restaurant. Ramadan, we decided to do special menu. It's a soup. It's an Algerian way to break the fast. We call it iftar. Then burak, salad, and we have 2 main course dishes. One chicken, and the other one is meatballs, garlic meatballs. I would love, you know, if you try it. Right?
Of course.
Is smoked whole wheat soup. They smoke it, they harvest it, they smoke it, and then they grind it with lamb, tomato, and other spices.
I literally feel like we are being served a home-cooked meal. All right, let's try this out.
Wow. Really nice and smoky. Very light.
Definitely has some flavors I've never had before. I mean, I've never tried Algerian food, and a nice tanginess to it. Lamb, so tender.
With that fresh herbs on top too.
You think about that French colonial influence around the world. You have the banh mi sandwich in Vietnam, Algeria. Baguette's very popular. And the feast continues. Look at this this healthy feast we have awaiting us. Try this rice. Really creamy textures on this.
I mean, we were sitting at one of the few Algerian restaurants in New York and probably the United States, okay? We talk about the benefits of eating your way around Queens. This is one of them. So Halim gave us Selecto Algerian soda, which has been around before Coca-Cola. I don't even know how old that is. We're gonna have to look that up. The sugar tastes completely different to me. Can you try it? I want to get your palate on this.
I'll tell you what, it sounds odd, but when I first cracked it open and gave it a smell, it smelled a little like bubble gum. And I'm almost getting a bit of a bubble gum flavor to this.
It's really nice.
Algerian soda, definitely not on the bingo card today.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the burek, and he was telling us about how this has like Turkish, Ottoman roots.
This one is with the ground beef, onion, potato, and spices.
Now let's take a bite. So pillowy and soft, and we have the meat hiding right inside. Whereas it's been my whole life. I'm kind of addicted to this. The burek's my favorite thing we've had so far. Really good. I gotta tell you. We're working on the protein part of this set menu. We got the chicken with chickpeas. Wow, the chicken, it's so tender, it just comes right off the bone.
I love the chickpeas too. You get a nice cumin flavor in here.
Garlic meatball.
Yeah, very excited when I hear garlic. I love garlic as well.
And with the chickpeas on the side.
More chickpeas. Always down for that.
Much different flavor profile than I would say an Italian style meatball, for example. Much different.
I definitely get that garlic flavor. It's not like, too overwhelming, which is good.
And he said almost everything here but the soup is always on the menu. All right, the calaboose dessert you saw before being made with the semolina. Very happy. You know what I was just thinking? I wish I had an Algerian green mint tea next to me to wash this down. Look what we have right here. Oof. This is the first time I've had Algerian food, but it will definitely not be the last. If you're looking for something fun to do when you visit the city and you like these videos, check out Greg's food tour. It has been one of the favorites from many of my viewers, saying it was the highlight of their trip to New York. Details down in the description. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, love to see you. Come check it out.
Greg, for dessert, our fourth continent of the day, Europe, meet this bakery.
So this is from Romania. So Sunnyside has a decent sized Romanian community.
Then we did pass a Romanian church a couple blocks away. Check us out.
Starnitsa is here for 42 years ago.
And how important is this place, like the local Romanian community?
Very important. All the people is very happy when they come here.
It's amazing because you have Romanian staples here, and then you have like a hamantash, and you have Jewish baked stuff, you have American baked stuff, you have a little bit of everything here.
But we're here for the Romanian sweets, and when you walk in here, it smells really good. Like a good bakery is supposed to smell.
I would totally ruin dinner at this place.
Fateuri. This is a puff with cheese. Very flaky, very interesting.
You know what this reminds me of? This Brazilian cheese bread I've had before.
Pão de queijo?
Yeah, a little bit.
I see what you mean. They're really nice.
We'll share one of the amendinas.
One amandina?
Yeah, so these are the two most popular things here.
Yeah, and I show you something.
Okay.
Dobosh cake. It's a vanilla cake, chocolate cream, and caramel. It's very good too.
What else?
Apple strudel. The best apple strudel. It's very, very good.
What's your favorite thing?
My favorite is cheese Danish. It's sweet cheese. It's very good.
It's amazing. A spot like this, we came for one item and we were leaving with like 9 things. She just kept giving us extra.
It's like our Romanian auntie that we never had. It's the hospitality in there was pretty incredible. Sit at the chess table.
Man, I don't know how we still have room in our stomachs for all this. This has been a crazy day.
This is the kozanak, so it's a pretty traditional bread that's usually around Christmas and Easter. It smells a little boozy too.
You think there's rum in this?
There might be. I know there's walnuts in here.
Try it. It's not too sweet. I like that about it. You think about American desserts, it's just sugar overload. No.
It's got a very eggy taste to it. Sweet eggy taste, almost kind of like a brioche flavor. But a bit of a citrus in there too. The only thing it's missing is some coffee. It's go great with coffee.
So I always say to Greg, I'm not gonna finish this. I'm just gonna take a bite, and here I am working my way through it. So this is the Amandina. She said it was their best seller.
It's chocolate, cake, and rum syrup.
Rum syrup.
Rum syrup, there we go. You can smell the booze right away.
If you didn't tell me that there was rum syrup, I would have said, something tastes a little boozy, a little alcoholic here.
I like the couple layers. I like the outer cream.
Yeah.
Really gives it a nice, like, soft kind of texture compared to the inside, which is soaked with that rum syrup.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, nitas. I would say hidden gem, but I actually think it's pretty well known in Sunnyside. But I'm sure a lot of people around the city or visiting have never heard of it. And something important to know about Sunnyside itself is that you are very close to Manhattan. What, 15 minutes by 7 train?
Yeah, on a good day, about 15 minutes.
So this entire video, you could walk it easy. Today, we're eating our way through New York's Filipino neighborhood, Little Manila, to show you why this is one of the city's best-kept food secrets. We're on Roosevelt Avenue in Woodside, Queens. We've got Johnny, who's from the Philippines, fellow New York City content creator. Why are we starting at Renee's?
Renee's is the OG spot here in Little Manila. You can really taste the traditional type of food here. It's kind of like grandma's or mom's cooking, so this is the best place to go to.
I feel like I'm right at home.
If you go to any Filipino household, usually there's like spoons or forks on the wall. I'm not really sure why that's in, but in my household in the Philippines, they were like this long.
We've been here for like 31 years. The job that I used to work to closed the company, and so with my husband. So we decided to cook like the empanada and the siopaw. We started that product and sell it to Filipino store. Became famous. So I asked my husband to let's try and open a little restaurant. I'm the second one.
The second restaurant here. But you're the oldest running restaurant right now.
Right now, yes.
What do you think a restaurant like this means to the local Filipino community?
Well, it makes them feel like home. You know, it gives them like a reminder of like how the Philippines is. Just like being around family.
Before we were just 2 Filipino restaurants. Now, probably 10 of restaurants.
What are your best sellers?
Kare-kare and the barbecues.
This is too much food. This is a feast we've got here. Basically just opened like grandma's kitchen to us, I think. Brought every possible signature Filipino dish, more or less.
Pretty much. I'm really excited.
First observation about eating at a Filipino restaurant, there is no knife on the table.
We don't believe in knives, actually. It's really funny. When I met my wife, she saw me cutting with a spoon. She was like, do you need a knife? I was like, for what?
Let's start with the lumpia.
It's deep-fried pork egg rolls.
This is one of the few things on this table I have had. Let's rock. Did that in one bite. That was impressive.
Do it. That's how you know I'm excited. And the food's good. And we dip it in like a sweet and sour sauce type of thing.
The last time I had this was Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and Ben, the longtime cameraman and one of the co-hosts on the channel who passed away this summer of lymphoma, he brought this to Thanksgiving, and it's bringing back memories, and we filmed with him a couple years ago in Little Manila, so I'm definitely dedicating this video to his memory because I know he'd be having a ball with us right now, trust me.
All right, so let's go on to the sisig. This is one of those dishes that you kind of just invite a few friends and you have a couple beers and you eat it, you're drinking.
I have had sisig before. My last trip to Little Manila, yes.
Yeah, pork belly, ear, the snout, all the good stuff, right? And then they grill it, put it on here and just chop it all up. Nice egg on top.
A lot of people order the egg in the middle. It's not standard, but it's very popular here.
Proper way to do this is you have to mix everything, right? So the egg mixes with all the good parts in there. So, and then you finish it off with a little bit more lemon. A little bit of the sisig, and you need to have some rice in there too. One bite.
One bite. So moist, juicy, so much flavor. Who needs a knife?
You don't even need this. It makes it easier to push all the rice and the meat onto the spoon. This is the main tool right here. 2 different rices. I did garlic, you did without the garlic. You said that garlic is a huge deal in Filipino food, right? Yeah, almost everything has garlic.
This is gonna be tough to top for my favorite, I'm telling you. Pork sisig. Do you think Filipino food in general gets enough love in New York? I think it's a bit of an afterthought.
California, it's a huge community over there. It's nice to see that we have a Little Manila here, but I think there's so much room to showcase the culture, the food, and just overall the whole experience. Yeah, there's so much to experience.
It's also unfair in a way because there's 3 huge Chinatowns in New York and Little Manila. You've got one main block here and a few other places scattered, but it is growing, it's expanding, and there's a lot more opportunities for non-Filipinos like myself to come here, explore this, and try it out. Have you noticed more non-Filipinos coming in here?
Yeah, with like how social media is now, and it's helping the business out. Gets word out on like about Filipino food. I feel like right now it's not too known, but some people are catching up on it and, you know, trying it out.
To the kare kare, my personal favorite. I grew up on this. Like my mom used to make this all the time. Peanut based, super savory, and today we have oxtail and tripe. Last time I had oxtail was in Queens and that's Deli, but that's more like Guyanese, Caribbean style. Never had Filipino style oxtail. That's super different to the sandwich. Yeah. And check a look at that. Add some rice, because as you said, rice with everything. Yeah, and then you have to add a little bit of this on top. Very salty, not too much, just like a little dab. It's a fermented shrimp paste. We call it bagoong, that's how you say it. Let's see. Just disappeared. Remember what I said about the sisig? I don't know. Kare kare is moving up my list right now. I don't know. I think it's because of the peanut sauce, personally. You a big peanut guy? Yes, I am. Oh, dude, just peanut butter, pad thai, kare kare now. Don't tell her, but I think this rivals my mom's. Like, for real. Like what I said earlier outside, it's like you come here for the traditional dishes, and it really tastes like you're eating it from home. Johnny's mom, we're sorry. We know you're watching this, but she's probably gonna. She wants to come here now to find out. But yours is still the best by a hair. So, like I mentioned earlier, beef sinigang is tamarind soup. Very sour. Everybody loves it in the Philippines. Super popular. Feels like you're at home. So the way I eat this, I put it on top. Take some of your meat. It feels like Filipino food. It's either you're Filipino or you have a good friend who's Filipino or you're a Filipino family. But I don't think enough people are going to explore it. Other than that, I don't think you would get that intro unless you actually know something. No, exactly. I'm just thinking, like, you're showing me all these intricacies here. So bring a Filipino friend or watch this video or ask them how to eat it just right. Hit me up, I got you. This is fun, yeah. I put the fish sauce, like a little bit, super salty, like something like that, on top of the beef. We're putting the rice on top of the beef. Okay. Let's do it. I'm feeling the sourness for sure. I've never had beef quite like this before, I have to say. A restaurant in New York with so much competition for food. If you've been around for 32 years, you're probably doing something right. And even looking around us as we've been eating here, it's been almost entirely Filipino or Filipino Americans eating here. So that's another stamp of approval, I have to say. The neighborhood backs you, you're doing something right. Obviously you have good food, but you're bringing in nostalgia also. What's your favorite thing about having this restaurant?
Meeting people, presenting the food that they enjoy, like a home, family.
A lot of our customers have been coming here for like years. They know me since I was like a little kid. I know some customers that were younger at the time, grew up, have kids, get married.
Grand finale is dinuguan, this guy right here, or what we call chocolate meat. Chocolate meat, best name ever for a dish, by the way. Plot twist is not sweet at all. Acquired taste, we'll just stick to that. I'll try it, I'm gonna try it. Yeah. For the record, I have had balut before, okay, and that was by far the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life, so I think this is gonna be better. Balut is controversial, very infamous, but the country actually does love this. It's not like a split. Pork, you get jowl, you get heart, belly, ears, and they simmer the blood for a long time, and that's how it gets that color. You can try pork's blood in Queens. You're adventurous, which I'm trying to be today. Gonna go on, some rice, first time. I was waiting for a reason not to like it, but I like it. Like if you told me that this was just some regular pork dish, I probably wouldn't think twice. What would you say is the flavor profile? Very strong on vinegar. You don't taste that chocolate. No. You know what I mean? If nothing sweet about this. I mean, we use vinegar in almost everything again. And garlic. I think the rice is what's holding this all together. It's balancing out the vinegar flavor a little bit. The broth itself is super rich. Not my favorite thing of everything we had, but I could certainly eat it. I've actually never tried balut as an adult. They forced me. I feel like it's religion in the Philippines, like you have to eat it. It's like the bar mitzvah for Jews. You know? There's actually a balut lady right outside Renee's. At 4 p.m. she's out there until like 11. So which one is your top favorite? Is it still sisig? Sisig by a whisker. I like egg, and I like grilled stuff, like barbecue. It checks all the boxes for me. Dude, if you go to the Philippines and like the first thing you say is like you ask for beer and sisig, you're accepted instantly. Yeah. You just be like, oh yeah, he knows. Red Horse, I'm down. There you go. Bro, you're more Filipino than I am, I think. All right, Johnny, we've got a long walk next door to the next stop, Kabayan, and this place looks cool. This is it, Kabayan. This is what you would call turo-turo. Basically, it's like a Filipino bodega. You can get any types of food that they have available while also getting some groceries. And I want to bring you here because I want to show you some of my favorite street food snacks.
All right, I mean, where to begin? Now, I have to say, I've been to the Philam Mart before, so a little familiar with some of these things, but I've never been to the Philippines, so not really.
This is like one of our go-tos. I forgot how to pronounce it. I haven't had this in years, but cheese-flavored snack, like chips. Pure nostalgia here.
You should come to Little Manila just for the snacks. What about the sweetbread?
Pandesal, a very go-to for breakfast.
Yeah.
Heat it up in the microwave, 10 seconds, put some butter on there. People put Spam or like corned beef, make it like a little sandwich out of it. This is like one of my go-to desserts.
Looks like apricots shaped like muffins.
Coconut shavings on top, and you take a bite of it. Kuchinta.
Kuchinta. It's always more fun in the Philippines. What I love is, you know, from the outside, you just see what looks like a little market, but we've got the food here. A lot of food.
So we'll get 2 pork barbecues. Oh, 2 kamote cues, please.
Thank you so much. Oh, you know, I have to say, what a job we have. It's pouring rain, and we are standing under an awning next to the subway tracks in Little Manila. Life is good, and anything on a stick always tastes better.
Have you had this before?
Never had the Filipino version of this.
2 ingredients I think makes it unique to the Philippines. 1, 7-Up or Sprite in a marinade. If you don't have like a lemon or calamansi juice, Sprite, 7-Up is very acceptable. And the other thing is banana ketchup. That banana ketchup really puts us out there.
Cheers. This tastes a lot better than I expected, I'm telling you.
Anytime I have a birthday party or like any type of events like graduations, other than the lumpia, I go for this right away. If you're too late, it's the aunties, the uncles, your own parents, they'll take it from you.
So you're saying that like street food like this is such an ingrained part of Filipino culture?
Yeah, I would say so.
I've had pork on a stick, I've had beef on a stick. I've never had sweet potato on a stick. And this is an idea that I really think I can get behind.
We call it kamote.
Yeah.
Kamote Q, as in barbecue, caramelized with brown sugar. Sweet potatoes.
Let's try this.
There we go.
I'm just totally imagining a barbecue in the Philippines right now, and I'm just like eating all this.
If you're a vegetarian, go for this. You have options, just to let you know.
I think I like the sweet potato as much as I like the pork. Is that crazy? Because this reminds me of candied yams.
It really does. That's the perfect example for that.
We annihilated the sweet potato on a stick. Something important to point out to the viewers is that Little Manila is considered a micro neighborhood, which means not every restaurant in this 3 or 4 block radius is Filipino. Here you have a Filipino restaurant, and then next door you have Ecuadorian, and that's just the melting pot of New York. There's very few neighborhoods left that are purely one ethnic group.
There's a mural over here, and there's a word in Tagalog, and it says mabuhay. That basically means it's a greeting. You can say, John, mabuhay, and then it's just like, good wishes.
Good wishes and welcome to Little Manila if you see that when you come through. 69th and Roosevelt.
Yes, right next to a Max.
Which I've eaten at in Jersey City, and that's a huge chain in the Philippines, right?
It is, it's a huge chain. It's right up there with Jollibee too.
All right, Johnny, we have shown the old school of the Philippines in New York, and now a little new school fusion for dessert.
So we're here at Purple Dough, and you'll find traditional desserts like leche flan or ube, but they have a twist to it, kind of like the cannolis, where they'll fill up the cannoli shell with ube. And I've never had that, so I'm super excited to try it actually.
I'm excited for this spot too. We gotta check this out. Oh, it smells amazing in here.
It smells so good.
I used to work corporate in the city. Just wanted time off for myself, so I thought I'm gonna open a business. I wanted a restaurant actually to begin with, but I realized the restaurant business is a little more tough. I didn't have to bake in general, actually, to be honest with you. And from that point on, I kind of like learned how to bake here. And when we came up with a name, it just like, I just want something like a Filipino meaning with an English word in it. Starting with, I remember with vanilla and chocolate cupcakes. People start saying, how come you don't have ube since you're Purple Dough? So this is our signature item, the ube leche flan. My sisters and my mom, and kind of like give me ideas what to add in the item. And the first item also became, it's a leche flan. But how do we make it unique? How do we make it more palatable for everybody? So we did we cooked the leche flan and we actually added the cake on top. When we bake it like a flan first, then we add the cake halfway to the baking. Then eventually, when we had the other items, the ube became kind of like the central point. We have to add it on different mediums, like from the crinkle cookie, obviously. This little bakery shop in Forest Hills called Silk Cakes. It's a Korean-run bakery. And I used to visit her, and she had this different flavors, from cherry blossom to Tahiti. At one point, she had ube. So I seen this idea before, but obviously, I wasn't copying at the time because I have no aspiration. Took how they approach things.
Explain to us the cannolis here, because that's so New York.
I took different inspiration, obviously. I didn't do the cannoli shells, I want to make sure it's done the Italian way. You know, yema, which is a custard cream we put on the mango and Thai tea. Did our own version, our own play on that.
You know, New York is the world's biggest melting pot, and I love seeing combinations of things like this, especially the cannolis Mark was describing to us. I love cannolis. Grew up in North Jersey, super Italian part of the state, and cannoli with ube, mango, and coconut.
Coconut pandan, yeah.
So it's the perfect fusion, right?
It is. I love it. These three flavors perfectly describe and showcase the Philippines.
Tell everybody you gotta have at least one cannoli. Well, if you come to Little Manila, you gotta have an ube cannoli. You've never tried a cannoli like this, because I definitely have not.
No, I've never heard of Italian Filipino cannoli, so this is the first. I'm super excited.
Okay, let's rock.
The
ube hit me right away. I mean, I never would have thought to do this.
I love the crunch.
Yeah.
Initial bite, crunch, and then all the flavor just smacks you right in.
Worth a trip to Woodside alone for this.
I've never seen anything like this. It's a Filipino flan on top of an ube cake.
It's a buttercream icing. It's a Swiss Italian, really less sweet. Then we put obviously the ube in it. One customer told me it's like a chocolate potato. That's one of the, I think, you know. I mean, most of the time we say it tastes like taro.
Let's try this. Do it.
Wow, the ube flavor is a little difficult to describe, but sweet, kind of nutty. But with all the ways that he dressed this up, this is really good.
Different textures here. You got the flan, fluffy.
Oh, it's thick, you're right.
You have a thick cake on the bottom. Strong ube flavors in there too.
The ube and the flan balance each other out pretty well, I have to say. I have not lived in New York since the 90s, but since I have been coming to Little Manila for about 8 years, it changes every time I come. Even walking on this block here away from Roosevelt, I counted like 3 or 4 different Filipino eateries. So Little Manila slowly but surely is picking up. And I have to say, I think it's a real sleeper in New York.
Yeah, Filipinos, we need to expand a lot more in New York City. I think that we have a lot to offer with food, the culture, it's so vibrant, it's just so many things that we can offer.
We're going on the ultimate sandwich tour of Brooklyn, from old school Italian to some of the best pastrami in the city, and a deli going viral for delicious reasons. You don't want to miss this. We've got Greg back on the channel, native New Yorker and food guide. We are starting at David's Brisket House, and this is a sleeper pick for some of the best cured meats in the city.
It is. This is definitely under the radar. You know Katz's, you know 2nd Avenue Deli, Pastrami Queen. You may not know David's, but you will now.
I'm really excited to try this spot out.
It smells so good already.
It smells so good, and I love the vibes here. It's like an old school diner.
Yeah.
Wow. We are in the right place.
Oh yeah.
My name is Riyad Ghazali. David Brisket House originally goes back to the 1950s. When I came, I took over in 2010. We kept the same recipe, the same theme. I basically took over and I focused on the 3 items, pastrami, brisket, and corned beef, with just a limited amount of menu. Tried to cater to many people in terms of like price, budget. I did multiple sizes to try to attract more clientele. I'm a practicing Muslim. There's a sect of Muslims that will not eat anything unless it's not halal. The same thing, you have the Jewish community where they will not eat anything except it's kosher. And I needed to cater to them. So 2010, when I took over, we were neither halal or kosher. It really took me like about 5 to 6 years to figure out how to source it to get a halal. 2017, that's where we officially became halal. It's still kosher style, but I would never tell anybody it's kosher.
Did you think you've introduced a Muslim community to
I did,
food?
because there's not that many places like this. Probably like the only one that serves halal pastrami, brisket, and corned beef. We have people from all backgrounds. Americans, Africans, Asians, everybody walks in here. Typically it cooks for 4 or 5 hours, and then we have a little cooked the pastrami also for like 3 hours on tight lid. Corned beef, same process, it goes about 4 hours. Basically we don't do anything to it, we just add the seasoning and that's it. Typically use a slice machine. People use a knife to cut the pastrami. To me, I feel better to cut it with a slice machine where you could kind of measure the slice and adjust it to the liking of the customer. So this is the rye with mustard and the corned beef, the pastrami on a rye. Brisket corned beef, this is brined for about a week, cured until it changes color. This one is boiled, a little bit of acidity, but at the same time not overpowering. Then this one over here, we marinate it overnight and then we bake it in the oven for 4 or 5 hours. You're gonna taste the rub, and you're gonna taste the vegetables as well, and the brine that is cooked in. Now this one is the thinner portion of the brisket. It's cured, it's seasoned, it's frozen, it's then baked, then steamed. It has more flavor than pastrami because of the seasoning. You can tell that they're all the same cut, but different
flavor profile.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
One of the best things about David's Brisket House, they offer you different size sandwiches. You don't have to spend 26 bucks for a mountainous serving of pastrami here. Whatever your appetite, whatever your budget, you can find it here. This is some of the most flavorful pastrami I've ever had in my entire life. I'm telling you, like just that first bite, I'm in love.
Those flavors there, it tastes maybe a little bit of coriander in there. And that rye bread, you really get a nice flavor from that too. Pastrami texture itself kind of crumbles. You know it's using a machine, it's a thicker sliced pastrami, excellent.
I think Riyadh was a little generous with me because this sandwich is falling apart, which is a sign that I need to eat this faster, but wow, I could devour this pretty quickly.
This pastrami really is just leading off hot. I'm telling you, I've always been a Katz guy, but David's Brisket House, I've been here a few times before, it's always been like right there for me. Really good value.
Human-sized portion, that's the key, because you do think of that huge sandwich experience at like a Katz's or a Sarge's, but this is a sleeper pick and a half. I'm taking off the toothpick and I'm going in for more. This is definitely up there for me with a Katz's, a Sarge's Deli, and now if you're in Brooklyn, I'm gonna say David's Brisket House for the pastrami, for some of the best pastrami in the city.
Just enough mustard on there too, just enough to complement the meat and the bread.
This is halal meat, kosher style, a Muslim-owned business selling historically Jewish food in an African-American neighborhood. If this isn't New York, I don't know what is.
Very local community vibe, and even he said he likes to keep the prices, the smaller sandwiches at a manageable price.
He knew all the customers, he knew their orders the second they walked in. They've kept a crisp business running. It's not a Jewish deli experience unless you got a pickle.
Gotta have the pickles.
Just the right amount of sour. Doc Brown's celery. You can't go wrong with any Dr. Brown's coming to a deli.
Look at that Brooklyn Bridge in there, how appropriate.
And you said you've never tried it before.
No, and it does not taste like celery at all.
No.
So if the name scares you off, don't. It actually is really good. Very refreshing.
I'm gonna try the corned beef. He's gonna try the famous brisket.
Brisket, I mean, it's already really seeping through the bread. The bread's almost falling apart here because they dip the beef in the cooking juice, the au jus. So you have the sliced brisket, and this is not your Texas barbecue style brisket. This is a whole nother animal. Not really, technically, right? But the same animal, different style. Much more subtle. Really has kind of like a home cooked, like comforting kind of food taste to it.
If you weren't from New York and you didn't know about this spot and you saw David's Brisket House, you might think it's a barbecue spot, right? We have the corned beef here. Equally as popular, I think, as the pastrami. Look at this mound of meat. Even for the medium size, I think you're getting an incredible value here. Big bite. I'm salivating looking at this. It's calling my name. It's a lot softer, it's a lot more tender than the pastrami. It's a little more subtle. I don't even know which one I like more. I think I like the pastrami a little bit more because I'm into that flavor, but you cannot go wrong with this corned beef either. I don't think you can go wrong with any of this stuff.
Yeah, it just steps away from the AC train or the LIRR. It definitely reaffirms one of my favorite pastrami's in the city.
I'm blown away by how good this was. I'm a Sarge's Deli fan, my top pastrami corned beef, but these guys are in the equation now. Greg, next up we've got DeFonte's in Red Hook, and I think if you looked up the definition in a dictionary of old school Italian deli, this spot will pop up.
Absolutely, this spot's been in business over 100 years, and look at the clientele, catering to the blue collar workers here, a lot of firefighters, police. This is a real Brooklyn institution right here.
Well, when there's a line out the door, you know you've come to the right spot, huh? I think we have like half the FDNY and NYPD here as well. Yep. And those guys can eat.
So I just rewatched the whole Sopranos again for like the third time, and it's got me really in the mood for a sandwich here. We got Tony, gotta get some gabagool.
The whole cast was here. I'm a Jersey boy, I love the Sopranos.
Best. How you doing? Can I get one Golden Boy special, one Chenzo 13, please? Small, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That moved a lot quicker than I expected.
I know. Fish Friday, they do seafood only on Friday today. Shrimp, calamari, a lot of people ordering that today.
Got a huge crowd, but we got tons of meat here and some of the best sandwiches in Brooklyn.
Beautiful car.
The New Yorker. So our camera guy, James, actually had the interesting idea for us to try to find the waterfront and film there. That's what we're doing.
I feel like this is like in Sopranos when they have like a mob sit down, mob meeting, just like right in the middle of nowhere.
We're gonna be breaking bread, all right.
We are gonna be breaking bread.
Here we've got the Golden Boy, and I knew from the second I read that menu, this is what I was gonna order. It's chicken cutlet, melted fresh mozzarella, vodka sauce, and prosciutto, okay? you know this is gonna hit.
So I got the Cenzo 13 that's got prosciutto, soppressat has fresh mozzarella, roasted hot peppers, broccoli rabe, which I love, extra virgin olive oil, balsamic glaze.
Greg, actually, I think this is fitting us filming on the waterfront because DeFonte's opened in 1922 as a spot for Italian longshoremen to eat. So this is exactly the way they would do it.
It's appropriate. And look at this, you can't really beat this view right now. I mean, you don't get the skyline, but you get Lady Liberty, get Staten Island Ferry going by, you get the Verrazano Bridge right there.
It's not the classic tourist view, but it's still an amazing view.
Absolutely.
And speaking of amazing views, I mean, these sandwiches, they're just calling out to us. Oh man, it's had some time for like the juices and flavors to soak into the bread. Oh, let's rock. The chicken cutlet and vodka sauce was enough. Adding the prosciutto on top, a little saltier, just a perfect combination.
The soppressat and the prosciutto is just enough saltiness, not too overwhelming. Then you have that creamy fresh mousse coming in really nicely. Get a little sweetness from the balsamic glaze, a little bitterness from the broccoli rabe, and then those peppers in there also being soaked up in that bread.
Cannot sleep on bread in an Italian deli like that. I got the hot sandwich, you got the cold one, so you want to take this home to Jersey, good to go. You want to walk to the park, this holds up. I just love the layers to this thing.
I think an underrated part about a good sandwich is really just the assembly of it. I mean, you can see just the experts at making this and just how they layer it and how it's all put together. It's a work of art.
Definitely. You have to know what you're doing. It's like you can't just have good ingredients. They are good sandwich makers there as well. And we saw how busy they were. They do this all day, okay? So they know what's up. I think a lot of people think of like New York, New Jersey as the big Italian pizza hub for Italian Americans. But before pizza even became huge in the US in the 1950s, these sandwiches were around first. This had way more influence than pizza did.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact it's so portable, see blue-collar workers coming in and out, big brown paper bag, taking a sandwich with them for lunch.
The extra added experience of being right on the waterfront here. Enter the Liberty Warehouse and walk directly to the waterfront. Tons of benches here. And then go explore Red Hook. Red Hook's a super underrated neighborhood in Brooklyn that a lot of people don't know about. We're talking mob business here.
On the waste management, 30%.
25, all right. If you are visiting New York and you don't know where to eat, you've got to take Greg's street food tour of Queens. I've had viewers tell me it is one of the best experiences they had visiting New York. Check the QR code or link in the description. Definitely take that tour.
Love to see you. See you soon.
Greg, we've got Farmer in the Deli, and this spot is absolutely blowing up on social media right now.
It is. I've been seeing them chop up the sandwiches. It looks like a total show we're gonna get in the process of getting this sandwich. So let's see what it's all about.
They don't make sandwiches, they build them. Like barbecue chips. Part of the shtick here is you gotta get chips to get chopped up in your sandwich. You can already hear the chopping going on in front of us. You wanna do the chopped turkey roll? Can I toss you the chips? Toss you, yeah.
Pretty cool experience. I like how seamlessly he just like placed the bread underneath it. It was already ready to go.
All right, we got a little show. Now we're gonna see how this tastes. Greg, I know that you were a little bit skeptical of it. I gotta tell you, it actually looks pretty good. It looks more like a tuna sandwich to me than it does a turkey sandwich with how chopped up it is. They've been open for over 20 years, so I don't know how long the chopping shtick has been going on, but they've absolutely been like everywhere on social media, so.
Seen the ones on Instagram with the mayo, it kind of look like slop, but this looks a lot better. There's no mayo in it.
We got the honey turkey, lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese,
spicy mustard,
vinegar, pepper.
Yeah, on a roll.
On a roll. Better than I expected.
Spicy mustard is key here. I think if this was with mayo, I think I really would not have enjoyed it.
It's like the mom cutting up the food for the toddler. Like I have a toddler at home. We don't chop up his food this finely, but oh, look at that. It easily falls out too.
You know, I was just about to say, I think it actually keeps everything together better this way, but I might be wrong about that.
I proved him wrong. Even though you can order tuna there, just like having a really finely sliced up turkey, I'm getting a lot of the mustard though. Like I'm noticing it more than ever.
Me too.
So it's like you're mixing up the condiments a little bit more than normal, because typically you got mustard, it's just on one side of the bread or the other. Have you noticed any of the chips, by the way?
You know, I was just about to mention that we kind of neglected to talk about. You can grab any chips or Cheetos, anything you want, like Akiway style. You literally throw it to the guy behind the counter to make it. It had a couple of crunchy bites in here from those chips. Little bits in there. I'm getting them like very subtle in the taste department, more in the texture department.
Now I got the barbecue chips and it's adding a lot more flavor to it. The line is slow because you have a bit of an interaction with your sandwich maker there. People are very specific about what they want. Spend 10, 15 minutes chatting with them.
It is a very local favorite there. You can tell it's an institution in the neighborhood.
But heck, man, I think we keep looking back to the Akiway. He's like the godfather of these crazy sandwiches, right?
Makes you a sandwich you can't refuse, right?
And I have to say, of all three, this is by far the most unique and different of the sandwiches. And we're both saying how much this is kind of growing on us. Like it's messing with our minds a little bit, like your typical sensations of eating a sandwich. But I mean, don't knock it till you try it.
That's the thing. I think the way it's all chopped up really makes it seem like hefty. Something about it. Like when you take bites, you're getting bites of everything. Kind of well evenly distributed, I have to say.
It's like a really chopped up salad. Sometimes you see stuff like that. They'll chop everything up, but in sandwich form, I mean, lately in New York, what can you not put in a sandwich, right?
The cool thing about today with like all three sandwich spots, Jewish style deli, those halal, and we went to a classic Italian deli for Italian sandwiches, and really more of your classic corner store deli, like bodega style.
Feast on dishes from around the globe for only $5 or $6 in New York City. Sounds too good to be true. We'll show you the ins and outs of the Queens night market, which could be the city's best kept secret. We've got Greg back on the channel, resident food guide and native New Yorker. 70 food stalls here. What do we got going on?
Yeah, the Queens night market is in Flushing Meadow Park here in Queens. It's been here since 2015, but it's expanded a lot over the years. So I've seen it grow. I've seen it become the best night market in the city, the first, and excited to eat. Really hungry right now.
We're gonna start with Joey Bat's Cafe. I've actually covered them on the channel before. They've got a few different locations, but there's something unique here that you can't find anywhere else.
Absolutely. So they actually started off here in the night market years ago, and they become a real success story. You know, their pastel de nata, the egg tarts are really delicious, but they have something special here called bifana. It's a traditional Portuguese sandwich. It's marinated strips of pork on a house-made Portuguese roll. Delicious.
This is a Portuguese roll. It's called popsicle. It's very soft, and I like to serve the bifana on it. It's really good.
The joy of the night market is this bifana is $6. You are not gonna find a sandwich this big anywhere in New York for $6.
Definitely not. Look how generously they pile these strips of marinated pork on here. She dipped it in the extra gravy too.
Yeah.
It's so saucy and juicy. It's like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore, but I gotta tell you what this is all about.
All right, let's just take a bite. Yeah, let's rock. I just cleanly bit through 4 different pieces of pork. That might be a personal record. It's so juicy. You just feel that gravy in every bite.
So this is marinated in a beer and wine sauce. I think I really tasted the wine in that first bite too. It's really complemented nicely by this house-made Portuguese roll. It's very light, fresh.
We're gonna tap out after one spot. This thing is so big. That's the great thing about the night market. Every stall you go to, you can try something you've never tried before because they've got stalls from all over the world.
Yeah, so what's cool about this is that you really can't find Portuguese food very easily in New York City. It's actually only really Joey Bat's, and he mostly is selling the egg tarts at other locations like Grand Central. This is the only spot he's selling the bifana for now. Keyword for now. I can see this really taking off one day.
Something we definitely need to discuss is how the night market has served as a springboard for a lot of really famous businesses to pop up. They start here, they gain a following, and then they're off to the races.
Absolutely. I would say Joey Bat's is probably the biggest example of that. Really started here. Now you can go to Grand Central before you hop on the Metro North. You can grab a pack of the pastel de nata, the egg tarts, which he's most famous for. And I think Chelsea Market, a few other locations, he's really taken off. He's got like a mini empire based off just starting right here at Queens Night Market, which is incredible.
Speaking of pastel de natas, I mean, they saw us filming and they know us, so they decided to give us 6 of these bad boys. And I had some of these when I was in Spain recently, and I know they're Portuguese. They didn't even come close to this, I'm telling you. They didn't even come close. I was missing Joey Bat's in Europe.
You can really just smell that cinnamon coming off this already.
Ready? Never too early for dessert, even the first style. So sweet, so crumbly.
Yeah, I like that it's not overly sweet. It's got the nice crunchiness, and I love the little bit of cinnamon on top. I think that's really what makes this extra special.
Has a real holiday vibe to it.
Yeah, cinnamon flavor really gets that. Always consistent, always delicious, I'd say.
This is tough because we've got like 68 more styles to eat at, so we better slow down.
Brought my appetite, but let's see.
You gotta fast all day for this.
We have 2 traditional too. Yeah.
We have 2 coconut juices as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, you know what my favorite thing about this market is? It's the community vibe, because people walk by, they see what's in your hand, and they say, where did you get that? What line is it? You start conversations very easily here.
You really do, yeah. Everyone's very opinionated too. And
For anyone who's not had a bonito before, including myself, what exactly is this?
okay, so I've only had this one time at an Ecuadorian restaurant in Queens. So Ecuadorian food is very common here in Queens. We have a huge community, but these bolones, they're plantain balls, so it's mashed plantain. They actually add some chicharron, there's some cheese here. They top it off with their own sauce. It's like a green, not sure exactly what it is.
Esmeralda sauce.
Esmeralda, yeah. Let's see what the Esmeralda sauce is, but it's really nice. You don't really see this on the streets very much, so it's actually pretty unique, even for a cuisine that's very popular here in Queens. So let's see what it's all about.
Really soft and chewy. And Esmeralda sauce doesn't overpower it at all. To me, it just kind of complements it.
Definitely has like an herbal flavor. You get that crunch, a bit of smokiness from the chicharron and the bacon. And the plantains are more the green plantains, so not very sweet.
I can't forget that it is very hot coconut juice, and you can even taste the little pieces of coconut. You saw them like grinding it, right?
Yeah, so I'm adding grated coconut to the juice, so.
I've had plantains, I guess, like Colombian spots before.
I'll tell you, this reminds me of a little bit, not flavor-wise, but concept-wise, of mofongo. Like Dominican and Puerto Rican mofongo, but totally different flavor. This is nice, I like this. It's a little more subtle, more subdued. Like part of the fun too is just watching them make it fresh. They're making this by hand, each one.
As we were saying, a lot of these businesses, this is their first real foray in public. So they're very friendly, and want to know your opinions on the food. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah, what's nice about it too is that when you set up here as a vendor, it's very affordable. The market is subsidized. That's why everything is capped at $5 or $6 per dish. So also in turn, the vendor fees are subsidized too. So if you want to get started in the food business here, it's a nice place to get started.
It's really a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Burmese bites. We are getting food that is not that easy to find in New York, right?
No. Yeah, Burmese food is rare to find. This is one of the few, actually. Look at the tray. That's so cool.
If you order for like 10 people, yeah.
Have one keema palata, please.
It's going for a run tonight. He's going to burn all this off. How many of these do you make a night?
About 500.
500.
Thank you.
That was quick.
Since we're in the park, you can actually set up a little picnic here.
Wait, is that supposed to be like a sushi roll? The glory of this market is that you can get a lot of shareable stuff for $5 or $6. Keema palata. This is, again, something I've never had before.
Yeah, so this is from Burmese Bites. They're one of the most famous vendors here. They've been here for many years. Another one of the success stories. So it's hard to find Burmese food here in New York City. So they started here at the night market. They're still here, but they also have a stall in the Queens Center Mall, one of the busiest malls in the whole country, actually. So they're in the food court. You have your basic mall food and you have Burmese food there.
Only in Queens, right?
Yeah. So this is the keema palata. It's kind of like a roti, but inside there's minced chicken. And here is a little bit of raita. It's like a yogurt, cucumber sauce on the side.
Did I just get two at once? Did I?
I think you did, doubling up. Actually have it by itself first.
That is just packed with flavor right there.
Oh yeah.
This is what I'm looking for out of the market. That bite right there, experiencing flavors like that I'm not normally used to.
What's so nice about this is that it's kind of crunchy, kind of soft at the same time, and then inside you have that nicely spiced chicken. And then when you have another bite with the yogurt cucumber to kind of cool it all off and add a little bit of crunch to it as well. The yogurt sauce really enhances it.
I could down these in one bite.
Easily.
I don't know about sharing them. I think I would go back for more, personally, but if you're on a little food tour here.
You come for the food and you stay for like the overall experience. The vendors making it, the vibe here out in the grass, like
music playing.
Yeah.
So this is good for a big group of friends as well. And you guys can just like split up and share food from different countries. It's a lot easier than like running around Roosevelt Ave, especially in weather like this.
And we even saw a woman who brought her own big tray, like at a restaurant. She had a tray of like 10 dishes.
Sometimes you gotta lead with your nose. Our sense of scent brought us here.
Oh yeah, the aroma is incredible here.
Wet plates and one burrs.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Sega wet plate and no utensils because it's Ethiopian food.
Ethiopian food, traditionally eaten with your hands. So we have here the injera, that's a traditional Ethiopian bread. It's fermented, made with teff grain. It's got kind of a sourdough taste to it. Ethiopia is one of my favorite cuisines, like a real flavor bomb, flavor pack.
I've had it a couple times before. It's been a while, but this, again, is something I really wanted to try at the night market.
Here they give us a rolled up piece of the injera, so it's kind of like a spongy texture. You see all the holes there? So I like to just rip it like that. Then, going with this. Try to get a little veggie in there. I'm gonna have to use it's gonna get on my fingers, but it's all right. I'll just go like this. Use the thumb to kind of shovel it down. That's a real flavor bomb. Underneath it all, like not only all the spices and that beef there, but you get that underlying tangy, sour flavor from the injera and that like spongy texture. Wonderful. And if you don't eat beef, they do have lentil as well.
We'll just do the beef. I saw them slow cooking this in the corner, and I knew that it would taste amazing, but I just practically melted in my mouth. And then some of the spices are coming up at the end there.
Yeah.
This thing's got some kick to it, and I like it. Now I'm gonna try to make Greg proud and get beef and some veggies in one.
Do it, John, let's go.
That was a warm up.
I believe in you, I believe in you.
So try to get, I don't know.
Got it.
All right, ready? Kids, don't try this at home. It was better though with the veggies. It was much better. So many flavors going on, you're absolutely right. Could that be the biggest flavor bomb in the whole market right there?
It's definitely up there. Usually when you go to an Ethiopian restaurant, you get a big platter. Usually you share with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Here is like one of the rare opportunities you can get more of an individual, smaller portion, which is rare. You can't really get that elsewhere.
If you're enjoying this street food adventure, consider booking Greg's street food tour of Queens. Many of my viewers have told me it was the highlight of their trip to New York. Link down below in the description. You won't regret spending an afternoon with this guy.
Yeah, I'd love to see you. Come book my tour. Skewers, the skewers are really good.
2 of the beef and chicken skewers, 2 orders. Thanks so much. Is there anything better than meat on a stick for street food? I mean, that's the classic.
You gotta do at least one at every market you go to, right? This is unique because Cambodian food is very, very hard to find in New York City. They're one of the only people selling Cambodian food in the whole city. It's pretty crazy to think, right?
Greg, I don't know what's more beautiful, this chicken on a stick or that sunset right there?
Why not both? That skewer in front of the sun.
Equally beautiful. That's why they call it the night market. We will be here after dark, but yeah, enough talking. Let's try this. Anybody can put meat in a stick. Not anybody can do it this well. So juicy and tender.
What I love about Cambodian barbecue sticks is that all the marinade, you really taste, there's turmeric in here, there's lemongrass, there's so much flavor. So there's even a little bit of lime leaves too. And it's so hard to find this in New York. I wish there was more. Hello Cambodians in New York, if you can just start opening up some barbecue stalls, please, you will get a lot of people. It's so good.
How can you tell all the flavors? I've always been curious about that.
I like a lot of different spices in food, so over time I pick it up. Sometimes I don't cook very much, but when I do cook, I do use like turmeric, cumin, spices like that.
So it's from the cooking that you have that background, right?
A little bit. It's like a mix of that, plus researching the food and trying it a lot.
Meanwhile, I'm like, this is good. Bold statement coming. It's maybe the best meat in a stick I've ever had in New York.
Probably wouldn't disagree with you there, actually, because the way it's marinated, no one else is doing this.
The marination here, that's what's standing out.
I think if you were just to walk by and you'd see it, you might overlook this stall, actually, because there's a few stalls here selling meat on a stick, but don't overlook this Cambodian one, do not.
So outside of being probably the most diverse street food market in the world, you also have the most diverse crowd in the world. Family friendly, a lot of tourists are watching. What would you tell them?
I would say, yeah, this is like the market for everybody. You know, you have everything's priced at $5 or $6 or less. You really get all walks of life here. And it's really not too far coming into the city on the 7 train. It's very family friendly. People come here with their dogs. It's just a good vibe altogether. You can even get beers here for $6, which is pretty good value.
Beer and wine. We may do that later.
Yeah.
Could I get the cassava leaf with the moringa leaf rice?
Thank you.
What friendly owners. This is what I'm talking about when you come to the night market. Getting that kind of hospitality.
Yeah, really sweet people. And I love it that we're not shy about saying they're the only people selling Sierra Leonean food in New York.
I think most people would be hard pressed to even pinpoint Sierra Leone on a map, let alone having tried their food before. But here I am trying it for the first time. Very earthy. And of all the food we've had so far today, I would say this tastes the most homemade. Like they were just in their kitchen and brought it downstairs and served it to us. That's the vibe I get from it.
I couldn't agree more on that. The rice here is a moringa leaf rice. You can see the bits of herb here, of the moringa leaf. And you have the stew. This is cassava leaf stew that already has a very earthy flavor. I think cassava is like a root vegetable, right? So these are leaves from it. It's slow cooked. You can tell they're very just proud of their food, just very friendly, and just, I love like you can't find Sierra Leonean food anywhere in New York. Yeah, just like you said, homemade and like healthy even.
This is kind of addicting, I'm not gonna lie. And not just this food, just trying food from all over. It's like just close your eyes and point at a spot and you're probably gonna find something that you're not
likely to find wherever you come from.
It's a very nice portion, it's very hearty, and just $5. You really can't go wrong. Overall, it's April to the last weekend of October. They take about a 4 or 5 week break for the US Open. That's in like mid-August to about mid-September. Because this is in Flushing Meadow Park, this is where the US Open is. Literally the stadium is just right over there. So.
Today we're eating our way through Brooklyn's Chinatown, which may be New York's best kept food secret. From street eats to a dim sum feast, hope you brought your appetites. And we'll be joined by Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz. For those who don't know about Brooklyn's Chinatown, this is in Sunset Park, and we could call it more under the radar.
Yeah, definitely. And this started as back as the 80s. Believe it or not, this was a Norwegian neighborhood before the Chinese moved in. 8th Avenue, the number 8 is significant because it means prosperous. And as you can see, the Chinese population definitely found success on 8th Avenue.
How is this different than the Manhattan and the Queens version?
It's definitely a lot of local Chinese people that just come out to shop, buy stuff, eat. You don't get a lot of tourists that come compared to Chinatown and Flushing.
Ming, we're starting at Bamboo Garden, and dim sum on a weekend is a must-do experience, right?
It is. Chinese people love dim sum, and I'm so excited for dim sum today.
Let's check the spot out. I have to admit, I have not done a dim sum like this, where you have the rolling carts. These are pretty tough to find in New York these days, right?
It's getting rarer and rarer because labor is just so expensive.
For anyone who's not familiar with this kind of experience, could you explain it?
Iconic experience and dim sum is when the old ladies like come and push the carts to you, and you get to see the dishes. I want that one, that one, that one, and then they stamp like the size of the dish you order. So small, medium, large, and special, and then the prices differ depending on what you order.
You're really just ordering with your eyes.
Full game of bingo.
It's really fun. I hope it doesn't disappear, but it is getting rarer. So whenever someone pours tea for you, you do the double finger tap to say thank you. So
All right, I'm learning a little today.
the young person pours for the old person.
We've got 4 grandmas trying to feed us at once.
Overwhelmed, John?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little intimidated right now. Don't feel intimidated, okay? Just have the cameras rolling, so there's a lot of attention on us right now. Now, normally on the dim sum experience, you pick and choose and you get a couple of plates here, a couple of plates there.
When we go with our families, this is very normal.
Okay.
But the thing that's different is that they don't all come to you all at once.
Lately, you have to like chase them down. It's like hard to get them now.
What do we start with? I don't even know where to begin here.
Definitely, we always start with the thing that's steaming. Shumai, the hagao, the paiguat.
We'll start with the shumai, and this is pretty much just grab and go, enjoy everything at once, right?
I like it a little spicy, don't mind me.
Yeah, look at this sauce spread in front of us. It's like we're ready for battle today.
There's shumai, there's shrimp, there's pork, and mushrooms wrapped around a little wonton.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Chinese culture, especially on weekends, seafood's a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go to spots in Chinatown that specialize in rice rolls and dumplings, but here you get to sample a little bit of everything. So if you could only come to one spot in the video, it might make the most sense just to come here for a big feast.
Mm-hmm. But this is not all day, so make sure to come before 2 p.m. to be safe. This is the ha churn, which is shrimp rice roll. This is my favorite dish of all of dim sum.
Very silky. Ben, did you live here at some point?
Bensonhurst.
So you live pretty close. Do you think this area has expanded a lot since you were a kid?
Oh yeah. So the 8th Ave used to be just this area, and now it's like 3 neighborhoods. You have like parts of Sheepshead Bay, parts of Bensonhurst. So like definitely expanded a lot. This is still like the mecca of the Chinese neighborhood of Brooklyn.
So far we went after the shrimp and it's all been delicious, but what do you think we should target next?
More shrimp, just kidding. But there's a lot of shrimp and pork, 2 main ingredients in dim sum.
Go for the ribs.
Sure,
Ribs.
the ribs.
Here we go. Ribs nice and tender.
These are known to be very saucy and has a lot of black bean.
Could a vegetarian enjoy this?
There's vegetarian stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just more fun if you eat meat. Just the
Stuffed jalapeno.
stuffed jalapeno.
It's not our usual at a dim sum, but it's
Okay.
fun to have.
No, I get it with my family.
Oh.
Yeah, every family is like different. Like when I go with my mom, we always get the durian pastry. And these two, I don't think they like durian.
All right, let's try this. Man, one bite.
Mm-hmm.
I was concerned how hot the jalapeno was gonna be, but not hot.
Not too hot. Mm-hmm. They take the seeds out.
What would dim sum be like known for in like a Chinese family? Is it a special occasion, or is it every weekend?
It's not every weekend, but there's some families that's definitely every weekend. Depends on timing and also like finances, I guess.
Now you two just spent a couple of weeks in Asia, and you said the last time you had dim sum was in Hong Kong. How would you compare that to New York?
New York, dim sum is actually really authentic because a lot of people immigrate here. Hong Kong, I think just the space is tighter in general. Tables are smaller, a lot more people. They love dim sum there too. The food is just as good.
This restaurant is gigantic by New York standards. 20 feet between tables.
Yeah, if you stick around for a few more hours, it'll be probably like a whole wedding.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They like to do weddings on weekdays.
I mean, that is kind of like the dim sum vibe, because you come in casual, but you're basically eating in an elegant environment.
Whole palace.
Yeah.
We are eating egg tarts later on in this video, Portuguese style. These are Hong Kong style.
The Hong Kong style egg tart uses full egg, while the Portuguese egg tart is only egg yolk. This is more of a thicker, denser crust, while the Portuguese one is more of a puff pastry. I went to Hong Kong. This is legit the size too. It's so cute.
You're definitely right. It tastes less like a dessert, maybe more like a breakfast.
This is exactly what people like to eat for breakfast. This Hong Kong style tea, dynamic duo. Durian, crispy puff pastry inside. Oh, so much durian. I love it.
Try to enjoy it, John.
Every time people warn me about stuff, I'm like, oh no. All right, let's do it. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
It's a monster of a fruit, man. Wait till you see what it actually looks like.
I have to say, this is about as bustling as Flushing, as bustling as Manhattan's Chinatown. Do you see more similarities here or differences?
I don't want to call it lawlessness, but it's a lot more chaotic. A lot more street vendors, a lot of Brooklyn attitude, I would say.
It's a good word. What do you think makes this Chinatown like special versus the other ones?
Here you speak Cantonese or Mandarin. Here 99% of the people are Asian, Russian, all mixed together. The restaurant food is more option. Here only like one street. So I have another job. And today is Sunday, it's kind of busy. I'm out to help him.
I was tempted to buy those Crocs, you know. Hard-working, locals making money here. I respect that a lot.
We learned that a lot of the street vendors actually have two jobs. Corporate job during the day and then weekends vendor.
Ming, is it really a trip to any Chinatown if you don't stop for some bubble tea?
Heck no, we need bubble tea, especially on a hot day like today.
Chunyang is the answer.
Yes, I love Chunyang because they make fresh fruit tea. So delicious.
Can I do a large passion fruit green tea?
The less sugar you put, the more sour it's gonna be because we use the real passion fruit tea.
Regular. It's regular, yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
When you get bubble tea, remember to shake it up because there's a sugar, there's a boba inside, especially when you have brown sugar boba. I usually flip it upside down and then shake, yeah. Keep shaking until it's all uniform. Very important to shake it, especially when you have like a milky base.
I feel like I say this to you guys every time we have boba, but this has gone so mainstream. You see this like every neighborhood of New York, for great reasons, of course. Like every boba spot I ever walk by is always packed.
And the prices just keep going higher and higher.
But they're also good.
Yeah. I'll keep paying for this. One of the most refreshing drinks you can get. Ming, I'm always excited when I see a line basically out the door to a bakery.
This spot is one of my favorite spots to get Portuguese egg tarts. Some of the best here.
I was last here 4 years ago. I want to see if anything's changed.
Let's go. Oh, well, this spot is actually like extra big, or a little bit bigger than the other spots I've been to.
Yeah, you can see they know they're gonna sell out, or they're just prepared for us.
The turnover rate is really high, so it's like super fresh, super steamy, so good. Packaging is a lot nicer than the other bakeries I've been to.
I was gonna say actually, their steamed buns are almost sold out. So they just sold out, and we're gonna get a completely fresh batch in like 5 minutes.
Exciting! It comes out really quick, 5 to 6 minutes. Guys, this box is baked to perfection, fresh, hot. You could put your hands on here. It's like a hand warmer.
I think I would pay $10.50 just for this box and packaging alone, right?
Oh my gosh.
This is so nice.
No.
Bring us to a party.
If I'm paying $10.50, I better have the egg tart. Look at the jiggle.
Wait, are you shaking that?
I'm shaking it. It's so jiggly.
You know, I thought Ming was playing around, but they actually are jiggling. It's like Jell-O. You know what impresses me the most about this? That it's $1.75.
I filmed here almost 4 years ago and it was only $1.50. So we got a 25-cent increase in 4 years. If this spot was in Manhattan, no way it would be this cheap and no way they wouldn't have a super, super long line.
No way. All the Singfa bakery lovers will rejoice. If it goes to Manhattan, the lines will be crazy.
It's like you're eating like a well-baked cake. Best way for me to describe it. It's so gooey, so tasty.
So it's slightly crispy and buttery,
Yeah.
and the inside is like dense, soft, creamy, silky, so delicious.
We talked about the differences between the Portuguese and the Hong Kong style, and this just being egg yolk, I think I prefer that.
It's super eggy, but you can see that it's not gonna fall apart on you because of this crust right here.
Excellent point.
Excellent.
An excellent point. With like seriously how gooey this is and how it's not all falling out. Look, it was crazy. They had like 25, 30 in front of us. They were gone in 2 minutes.
I was like, John, don't worry, they're not gonna sell out. And then we got there and we're like, wait. But then they're like, oh, only 5-minute wait. Like, oh, nice.
They listen to their customers. They make a lot. 8th Ave feels a little more secluded compared to Flushing or Manhattan, Chinatown. So I think that's also a reason why the prices are lower too. You don't attract a lot of tourists, outsiders. It's really for the locals.
This has popped up a lot on social though.
That's true.
I wouldn't say it's completely unknown, but to your average person, it's definitely not in the conversation.
Yeah. Sooner or later. I feel like it'll be here, and also you have Elmhurst and Queens. It's like eventually every place will be discovered. It's just a matter of time.
Normally when you think of pastries, you think you can just down them in a bite or two. This thing's massive and it's heavy too.
Yeah. I could probably down 2 of those egg tarts from the dim sum spot.
Yeah.
This I can't.
I love egg tarts, so I can down 2 of these, no problem.
Sinfa is worth the trip to 8th Ave alone. Just get a box of those egg tarts, take them home. Your significant other will thank you for it.
If you want to be the coolest person to a party, bring a box of egg tarts from Singfa.
Ben, you once told me that the best dumpling spots have very simple names, and I think they qualify.
Great taste, you're 100% right. You got Super Taste in Chinatown, you got Taste Good in Elmhurst, they're all dumpling spots.
Yes.
And this qualifies. Hi, 你好，一份那个八个饺子，3块钱。
Thank you. These were ready to go. Like you could see that they sell so many of these that he just had the box.
8 dumplings for $3.
One of the best deals in the city.
He's scared right now.
Jalapeno scared me. That didn't scare me. I mean, I think after you've had so many fried dumplings, they start to look the same, but this looks a little bigger than normal.
It might be great tasting.
It might be great tasting. All right, we've got the sriracha, we've got the soy sauce. Let's see how these bad boys taste.
Ooh, spicy.
Oh, definitely has more of a kick than normal, but decent amount of pork inside, actually.
Yeah.
More than average, I would say.
I think the sauce definitely helped. Generous amount of pork and chives. Very doughy. You will get filled up with just the dough alone.
Value proposition is excellent. Is it the best dumpling of your life? I don't know. Does the job for me.
If I could feed myself for under $5, it's a win.
Yeah.
The thing with dumplings and these kind of spots is that you could customize the amount of soy sauce you put in, the spice level. So it's like you can have fun with it.
A little vinegary. Dumplings should always be in the 30-something cents. If they go to 40 cents, I'll be a little sad, but I'll be full from this, for sure.
Ming, I think it's important for people to know that in any Chinatown in the city, it's not just about Chinese food. You have a lot of great culinary stuff from all over the world.
Yes, just like this Vietnamese spot that we're going to next, Ba Xuan. They sell mung bean cakes here too. Number 1.
Thank you.
In this banh mi, we got a number 1. This is cilantro, pickled vegetables, so like the carrots, the daikon, the pate, all the Vietnamese cold cuts. They got a sauce in here that kind of tastes like ketchup, and cucumbers, peppers as well.
I'm never gonna say no to a good banh mi. I actually filmed here about 4 years ago. If my longtime viewers recall, Action Kid and I went to Sunset Park to eat this, where Action Kid spilled his entire Vietnamese coffee all over the park. That's what I'll always remember about this place. That and it was an amazing banh mi. Maybe one of the best I've ever had, actually. A little under 4 years ago, it was $5. What is it now?
It is $8. A month ago we came here, $7.50. So they're kind of, it's going up consistently.
Pretty steady with what's going on in New York. It's not just them, it's inflation in general. It's rock.
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
Oh. That is one balanced bite, I'm telling you. All the layers and textures just work so well together with this sandwich. Starting from the top, starting from the French baguette.
I don't know exactly, but it's like a special mayo type of sauce.
Even though the price has gone up, quality has stayed the same.
One of the best in Brooklyn.
Tastes even better when the wife's feeding you, huh?
Baguette is like really crunchy. $8 is expensive, but it's still on the cheaper end. I'm still waiting for the days that Subway become $5.
That's like the dollar menu coming back to McDonald's.
One
I think you just have to accept it.
Extra saucy just to bring the taste out, but these are very natural. Natural ingredients, super colorful, full of great taste, and it's naturally sweet.
Just hanging out with you guys at all these spots on 8th Ave. I don't live that far from here. I'm kind of ashamed that I go to the Manhattan Chinatown a lot more. There's so many quality spots here.
At one point, I actually grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, not too far from here. Yeah. But it's rare for me to come here because I was in high school. Now that I'm older, I could drive, I love coming here.
You're enjoying the food adventures that I am having with Ben and Ming. Adventures like this. Subscribe to their channel if you want to see them eating their way across New York and around the world. They have some great content, trust me. Ben, we started with something super formal, dim sum. And now we're eating street food on sticks, skewers.
It doesn't get better than that. Perfect ending. 拿2个羊，然后2个牛肉。好的。How spicy you want it?
Medium. There's 2 lamb and 2 beef. We don't know what we're gonna get.
Oh, we got
I don't know. I think it's beef.
I'll stick with lamb. This is like s'mores over a fireplace. Is there a more elegant way to eat in New York City than sitting on a red plastic stool? I think not.
I think not. I'm so full, John, but I'm so excited for this.
We've got enough room for meat on a stick. All right, beef, lamb, lamb. Let's try these.
Excited.
Cumin gives us a real nice kick.
The spices in Chinese skewer carts, it's unlike any others.
I've only done this with you one other time in Flushing on a video. And there we were standing on top of a parking garage.
Oh yeah.
And this is even more fun. There's so much to all of New York's Chinatowns, and like, you could spend years exploring and not even scratch the surface. It's crazy.
So true. Come out to Elmhurst with us next time. They'll whip out a whole table too.
Yeah?
Yeah. We have a night of skewers and beer.
That sounds perfect. Sign me up for that. There's great Chinese street food out there.
Yeah.
I think the stereotype is like it's like a noodle shop, dumpling shop, a restaurant, dim sum, but no, you can't sleep on street food either.
Right. The lamb is really lean and the beef is extra fatty. If you like that fatty street food taste, go for the beef.
We were not planning on covering 369 barbecue. This is a little hidden gem.
And right now we're early. Give it another 30 minutes, this street will be filled with street carts. It's gonna be a little 8th Ave night market of its own.
We were full, but I think I could easily do 2 or 3 more of these.
Yeah.
Easily, you know?
I'm like, yum. Did you get mild?
Medium.
Oh.
Look at you doing it.
You handled it.
Hanging out with these guys for so long. My spice tolerance has gone up a lot.
Lamb is good.
Making these food videos, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
A lot. They asked us how hot we wanted it. Would you say this is actually one of the most affordable meat skewer carts you've seen?
I would think so. I think $2 is a going rate right now for 2024. So these are 25 cents cheaper.
2020 rates.
2020 rates.
If you think about the value of this, $1.75 for a skewer, this is pure protein. Protein's usually expensive.
Yeah. And honestly, 8th Ave is a great place for food. Like one avenue has it all.
Make it really easy. Just take the R train right there, 8th Ave station. Start your adventure.
Today, we're eating and drinking our way through Harlem, a neighborhood equally known for its culture and cuisine. We'll be guided by a local who knows all the hidden gems. We'll show you why Harlem is a can't-miss destination. Larry, we're starting at Jinjiang Cafe, and from the outside, it just looks like your ordinary cafe, but that couldn't be further from the truth, right?
Yeah, this is a local favorite. A lot of people come here to do some work, but they got excellent food here. They got great African teas, great African cuisine, sandwiches, wraps, bowls, soups, and so forth. And this is also a place where I start my walking tours in Harlem. I think we should check it out.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We started the company back in 2015, and the whole idea behind it is to make food and beverage products that are based on traditional African recipes. A lot of ingredients come from the continent, but no products or brands have been built around celebrating the people, the culture of the continent. We have unique bowls and salads and wraps and snacks that are all inspired by dishes that we grew up on. Superstar on that is probably the jollof rice. Rice cooked in a rich tomato stew, fried plantains, roasted veggies, root vegetables, potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes actually, julienne, cabbage and carrots stuffed in a little bit of a vinaigrette. The chicken is actually cooked in the stew itself, chutney on top.
What do you think?
This is a meal right here, man.
It's supposed to be a snack for us to start.
I like the spices, how they combine in here.
I like how the chicken you said is also cooked right in the stew as well. It's so juicy and moist. I've not had enough West African food in my life. I need to change that. I don't know, Larry, should we just cancel the rest of the video and eat here?
we can make you your own.
We can do the whole buffet here.
There's a version of it in every county you go to. We actually have moms, if you will, right? Pair them up with our chef, but we started with mom's recipe and sort of played around with it.
Do you have a lot of people that come in here and say this reminds them of home?
Oh, all the time. It's like the best compliment you can pay.
So I'm gonna recommend my guests to get this. I always tell them to get the drink, but now I'm gonna tell them to get the meal.
Cassava fries. Cassava, we boil, deep fry them, and we garnish it with cilantro, parsley, some fresh onions, salt and pepper, and some lemon juice, and toss it all up.
Oh, it's not your ordinary fry. No, that's good stuff. You try it with the ketchup.
Definitely never had fries like this before. No, never.
I have friends that I went to college with that I brought here in 2010. You know, the plan was to come get fancy degrees and get fancy jobs, lawyers, engineers, you know. But I would not trade the last 10 years of doing this with anything.
If you want to explore West African cuisine and not feel like you have to order a ton of things, just keep it simple, this is where I would go. Larry, this is a great start. This is hidden gem for sure.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, thank you.
This is like stepping back in time, you're right.
In the 90s, this train station fell into disrepair. Then in 1999, they renovated the train station to make it look like its glorious past back in 1897. They did a good job.
Oh, we got one more little surprise.
I usually show people is we center ourselves right here in the middle.
Okay.
And look straight down 125th Street. The yellow line goes all the way down about 8 blocks. On the right of the building, there's another building with a sign sticking out like this, the world's famous Apollo Theater. This is the picture that people think about when they think about Harlem.
Metro North, 125th.
It's the best free view is this one.
We've agreed this is the best free view of Harlem.
Yes. So you could tell if somebody's from Harlem by what street name they choose to use. So 125th Street is Martin Luther King Boulevard. But if you come to Harlem and say, I'm looking for so-and-so at Martin Luther King Boulevard, people know right away you're not from Harlem, right? Because we still say 125th. And if you're really cool, you won't say 125th, you'll say 25th.
There's a lot of famous soul food in Harlem. We're at Jacob Restaurant. This is a buffet. I've never heard of this. Why is this your locals pick?
I like Jacob's because this is where the local people go to eat soul food. Every time I come here, it's an open buffet, you pay by the pound. Usually my plate comes out to $8 and less.
That's pretty cheap.
That's pretty cheap, and the food is delicious, as you will see. And I usually walk around this way.
There's like a whole buffet strategy.
Yes, it is a strategy, right? You got the lasagna, you got the rice and beans, you got this.
Sweet candied yam, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. You think it's a good choice?
Yeah, it looks nice. Look at the color on that.
It looks good.
Yeah. And I can hear the crunch.
This is the lone healthy thing we're getting. A single sliced avocado.
Yes.
It's like having a Diet Coke with this. So when the restaurant's full and it's 40 degrees outside, we sit outside. That smell hit me right away.
Start with the cold potato salad. Oh yeah, this is soul food, it's comfort food.
Yeah.
And this is making me feel really good right now.
I'm actually curious about this fried chicken here.
Oh, I hear the crunchiness.
Crispy. I like it. How important is soul food to the culture of Harlem?
Soul food is everything because during the Great Migration, when millions of people from the South came to the North, migrated to the North, most of the households, they make soul food, especially when they have a family gathering. The first question is, who made the potato salad, right? Right now, anybody can just come in anybody's kitchen and make something. You gotta know what you're doing. That's why people love Jacob's. You're eating food that reminds you of family gathering.
I wanna know who made these candied yams. They're fantastic.
Wow, yeah. In the summertime, this outdoor area is pretty packed.
Yeah.
You see the diversity of Harlem.
Has this street changed a lot in the last, 10, 20 years?
You used to have more mom and pop shops, but now you have a little bigger brands. You can't talk about Harlem without talking about Langston Hughes. He wrote about Lenox Avenue.
Yeah.
Lenox Avenue is like one of the most famous avenues in Harlem.
I don't know what I'm enjoying more about this, the fried chicken or the mac and cheese. It's on another level here.
Oh my goodness.
You picked a winner there.
That barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce is kicking.
I think this is actually a really cool spot for a casual lunch or dinner. You know, you don't have the time to go to one of the famous sit-down joints. Come over here. I could see myself spending way too much money here. I think if I came on an empty stomach, it'd be bad. It'd be 2 to 3 pounds of food.
Eat with your eyes.
I eat with my eyes. If it was all you can eat, oof, I'd be here all day. It wouldn't be pretty. You know, Larry, I think that Harlem gets certain negative stereotypes about it as far as being dangerous. Can you set the record straight with that for a tourist who may want to visit here?
It was a little rough growing up in Harlem in the 60s and 70s. But now Harlem has changed. Harlem has gentrified a lot, and from the 1990s to current times, all the places in Harlem to me are the same. They're not dangerous at all. Harlem reminds me of any other block or neighborhood in New York City. It's more safe than it ever was when I was growing up. So to me, there's a big difference. People come to Harlem with preconceived ideas, but after they finish my tour, they see that Harlem is nothing like they expected it to be. And then they can form their own opinion, their own ideas.
I mean, I think it is important to come form your own opinions, to
come up there yourself.
Eat at the restaurants, meet some of the people.
Yes, the local people.
You told me about this spot last night. You just discovered this cafe. We're sticking to this hidden gems in Harlem theme. Why Art Box?
As I was doing my tour, she gave me a card and she said, I'm new, won't you come check me out? I had some free time yesterday. Pleasantly surprised. She makes a great banana pudding.
Someone mentioned it as they walked out. They said, enjoy the banana pudding. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Good afternoon.
We opened September 16th. 2022. Growing up in Harlem, I remember seeing a lot of small mom and pop shops. I worked as a letter carrier in Harlem. And I remember delivering mail to some of these small businesses and always wishing and hoping that I could one day own a small business in my community. Art Box Cafe is a small Black woman-owned coffee cafe in Harlem that also serves as an event studio. This was once the studio of Mr. Alexander Gumby, first African-American male that came out as a gay Black male, and he used this as a scrapbooking museum for all of his work. And that is where the name derived from, Art Box, spelled O-U-R for hour, and I added the T, the pronunciation became Art Box.
What would you say you're most well known for?
Our famous banana pudding and also our carrot cake, which you'll be tasting today. You will get all of my ingredients, and I have to make it fresh every day. But when we sell out, we sell out. Can't make banana pudding without vanilla wafers and some Chiquita bananas. This is a family recipe, and that's why I had to make the pudding before you guys got here so that it can settle. So you guys saved the best for last. So right now we're cutting up a Chiquita banana to go on top of our vanilla wafers, and then we'll be adding another layer of pudding and another layer of wafers on the top. And this recipe is a vegan banana pudding, which is very important, especially with people that have specific dietary needs. Are you guys ready to take a taste?
Oh, yes. You told me that banana pudding is very connected to soul food as well, right?
Yes, because the banana itself is a fruit from Africa.
And the other interesting thing, this is vegan. I don't know if I've ever featured a vegan dessert on the channel in 7 years, so we're gonna go with this. Let's try it. You know, it's like, I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe that this is vegan. I can't believe it. This is so good.
It brings back memories. Yeah, I used to eat these cookies. We used to like sneak them in the middle of the night. My grandmother made banana pudding. That was a treat. And that's what soul food is all about, right? It's connecting your emotions to the memories.
I love these vanilla wafers on top, just nice and crunchy. And the banana pudding super, super creamy. Look, another layer. This would be good to share with somebody, and you can get plenty of coffee as well.
You know, I've had like 10 spoonfuls, but it seems like I'm not making progress here.
I'm kind of with you there. This is the never-ending bottomless banana pudding.
A bottomless banana pudding.
That's a good idea for dessert.
I like that.
You just keep eating. Oh, this is too much.
Oh.
Thank you.
I was thinking about it since yesterday. I could include this. It's off the beaten path.
We're gonna take a big nap after today, but we're trying the carrot cake and paired with the coffee.
And you're not gonna believe why I have to leave an acupuncture appointment.
Acupuncture? But you were gonna say you have a physical and they're gonna do like a blood pressure check.
No, for the acupuncture.
Oh yeah, oh even better. See, I put the to-go plate backwards because we never take anything to go because we always finish everything. but I finally admitted defeat here. I don't even know what to go means.
A few minutes before you came in, we had some people from the community that came in, the homeless community. They know that they can come here sometimes. You know, I feel that they should be included as well. It's about helping one another and seeing where people need help at the areas and inviting them and including them so that they know that they're not excluded in whatever we have going on.
Now, if you've enjoyed Larry as a co-host, imagine him leading a tour of Harlem for you. He has one of the highest rated tours on all of Airbnb. Larry, tell him about your tour.
A Soul of Harlem walking tour. It's a 2.5-hour tour. Harlem's history, Harlem Renaissance, the major plays in Harlem. You are here, walkingtours.com.
Take his tour. You won't regret it if you're visiting the city. All right, Larry, I've actually been here before. Harlem Hops, first black-owned craft beer bar in Harlem.
That's right.
Why do you like it so much?
Because they got 16 distinct craft beers. They do a lot of work for the community, and they got bar food.
You're still thinking of food at this point?
I really want something to drink at this point.
I want something to drink too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
It opened about 5 years ago. The owners, Kim, Stacy, and Kevin, are all HBCU grads, and they wanted to have a place where the locals can come and drink great craft beer in Harlem. Some of the best beer from New York State, New Jersey, Connecticut, from all over. We have 16 beers on tap. We have to promote our own brand, Harlem Hops, Pier 57 Imperial Lager. My beer brand, Copper Sun Brewing, has been doing very well here as well. We have one of the best vibes here. You could be from Germany, uptown, downtown, doesn't matter. Whether you like beer or not, you're gonna feel welcomed and have a great time.
I'd love to try number 11.
We rinse the glass so the beer pours very nicely when it hits that side end. I'm gonna try to do this pour as perfectly as possible. This is the Pier 57. So it was thought that the oldest brewery in the world was based in Germany, up until they found the oldest functioning brewery ruins in Egypt. Africa is the birthplace of everything, most importantly beer. Beer was not invented, it was discovered. Remember that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
There's light orange peel notes in this one.
Ooh, yeah.
No, I read that. I didn't know.
I was gonna say, I was like, wow, how did you?
I read that up there.
I was gonna say, how did you know that?
Of all the videos I've shot in a really long time, I cannot say I have felt this much hospitality from the owners. Wow. Do you think that's something that's unique to Harlem?
You think about the Harlem Renaissance, you think about Southern hospitality. You know, people have preconceived concepts of Harlem, but once they come to Harlem personally, they see that Harlem is a pretty friendly place.
Great food.
Great food, great drinks. Harlem got everything that you could ever want.
This is definitely a neighborhood that I think too many tourists sleep on for the wrong reason. Today, we're only eating New York's most iconic breakfast sandwich, the bacon, egg, and cheese. We'll show you some of the best spots in the city to try it and some interesting variations on the classic. And joining me for this food adventure, two fellow New Yorkers. We've got Ben and Ming from the Bing Buzz. All right, we're starting off the video at Eastway Gourmet, just your typical New York bodega. And Ben, we would call this the working man's breakfast, right?
Working man. Yeah, I think so. I've done a lot of night shifts, and every time I see the sunrise, I just couldn't wait for that bacon, egg, and cheese with an overly sweet coffee.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Some argue it's a bodega if it's 2 aisles and a deli if it's 3.
Oh, morning.
Morning. Could we do 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a roll?
Ketchup.
Ketchup, yeah.
Breakfast for champions.
What a start to the day. We've got the classic bacon, egg, and cheese. So we've got bacon, American cheese, I think 2 scrambled eggs inside of a Kaiser roll. It doesn't get much more traditional than this in the city.
I gotta say, they give a generous amount of bacon and the eggs.
And we all added ketchup. I know that's controversial. Tell us in the comments, would you put ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese? I say yes, as long as it's on a roll.
I play it safe, that's why I get the ketchup on the side.
This deli's been around for a long time, so let's see how this does. You know, everything is so perfectly balanced in this. I'm telling you, like everything. The amount of bacon, cheese, egg, just right.
Maybe because you brought the camera person in? That's why they hooked you up with so much bacon and eggs?
Yeah.
Because it never had this much bacon, egg, and cheese in one sandwich.
They didn't know we were coming, but yeah, I think they might have gotten a little bit more generous.
This is honestly like 2 sandwich worth of bacon and eggs.
So we can't confirm if they usually give this much bacon, but tell them you saw them on the video. Maybe they'll be nice too.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining though. And the roll is like so nice and soft. And the fact they have so much protein just enhances the sandwich so much more. You never see a bacon, egg, and cheese where the egg and the bacon is thicker than the bread itself.
This is really good, amazing with ketchup. And John said that he prefers bagels, but I prefer things on a roll. Rolls are easier to eat, smaller, so you get more of the meat inside.
This actually may be one of the best bacon, egg, and cheese I've randomly got from a bodega like in a really long time.
I'm telling you, they hooked it up.
Now you're saying this thing is stacked, but it's not on the Aki Wei level where he's got the honey bun and like 50 other things which we've shown in another video before.
I would eat the Aki Wei bacon, egg, and cheese though.
Aki Wei is still #1 for me, but that's indulgent. That's a little crazy. You want to come to New York, get an everyday breakfast? This is it.
It makes you feel badass after eating it, trust me.
I mean, I got to admit, this is also the perfect food, as you said, for somebody in the morning who's working. You just take this and walk and eat it.
I remember those night shifts where I wake up at 4 a.m. As soon as the sunlight peeks in, I'm like, a nice bacon, egg, and cheese, a small coffee, and some sunlight for some extra serotonin. It'll wake me up.
This is easier to walk and eat with than, let's say, a slice of pizza. I did a little research, and the bacon, egg, and cheese originated in the 1800s, and then towards the Industrial Revolution became more popular in the United States. Then 1950s fast food culture became huge in the US. So if you want to do something super American for breakfast, like this is it.
And a super New York.
Ben, would you say skip the hotel breakfast and order this from a bodega?
100%. Why would you get the continental breakfast? You're in New York.
It's true. Breakfast is one thing in this city that you actually can find pretty cheap. We've got Tompkins Square Bagels, one of the city's best, and one of their 3 locations. Ming, are you in the mood for a unique bacon, egg, and cheese here?
Always, I'm so ready.
All right, let's check this out. It's a Sunday morning, a popular New York bagel spot. Very crowded. It's a conveyor belt of bacon, egg, and cheese right here. I love it.
That's an impressive production line.
Want to get 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses, 1 on a sesame bagel and 1 on a French toast bagel?
You want your bagels toasted?
No, that's it.
Can I have your name to order?
John. Thank you. All right, Ming, I don't know if you can handle this.
Oh, wow, it's like 50 pounds.
Insider tip, head over to Union Square after Tompkins Square Bagels. Nice spot to enjoy it. 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses on a sesame bagel and a French toast bagel. Sesame is my classic choice. You ever had a French toast bagel before?
First time trying French toast bagel. I usually get the everything bagel with lox, so this is different.
Very different, but every bagel shop in the city, you can get a bacon, egg, and cheese. This is my preferred method of eating this. Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Even though this has less bacon than the last spot, I think they gave my bacon to Ming. This is fantastic. I love their bagels so much. Definitely one of my top 5 in the city. Nice and fluffy, don't think you need it toasted. And then the generous portion of egg and cheese on top of the salty bacon. I mean, this is a great breakfast sandwich as far as I'm concerned.
Mine is sweet and salty and soft and warm. It's really good.
Do you like that mix of the sweet and the salty at the same time? How does that work for you?
I'm a sweet girl, but also I love salty. So this is great. I get everything.
And something interesting about Tompkins Square Bagels is they're really well known throughout the city for their wild flavors. We've had birthday cake bagels before there. They've got rainbow bagels. If you can think of it with the cream cheeses, they have a lot of funky stuff. So if you find something like this boring, you've got to check out Tompkins Square. But for a bacon, egg, and cheese, this is tough to go wrong. This is more filling, I'll say.
Oh, for sure.
This is gonna fill you up for the whole morning if you do it with a bagel. You wanna try bagel in New York, and you wanna have like a full breakfast, bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's true. New York, New York. New York times New York.
The bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll, that was breakfast, but this one is brunch.
You're right, you got French toast. You get all your main brunch ingredients in one.
It's really hearty. It's always reassuring when you get the bagel from the right places too.
It's so true. What do you think of the French toast flavor, by the way? You ever had something like that before?
Honestly, I prefer the regular bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
Yeah, the bagel is fuller, it's heavier flavor. It does overpower a little bit the bacon, egg, and cheese, I will say, but for someone like me who's a bagel lover, this is the way I prefer to do it. But, you know, to each their own.
You do have to work for it.
Yeah, you gotta work for it a little bit.
It's a lot of biting.
Guys, by the way, if you enjoy watching Ben and Ming as much as I enjoy having them on the channel, check out their YouTube. They do food adventures just like this all the time in New York. Subscribe down below. Yeah, I want to get 2 of the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwiches, both with bacon. We've got Golden Diner, which is a social media sensation. We couldn't even get a reservation at this spot, so we're taking this super unique bacon, egg, and cheese to go. What are you thinking about this?
You know, we're fans of Chinese food, we're fans of bacon, egg, and cheese, but I honestly don't know what's expected in this one.
Let's show you the inside of this place. It's really interesting. What vibes do you get?
It's very lively diner, but also a little Asian fusion vibe.
That looks like a burger.
We got the Chinatown egg and cheese sandwich with bacon, $17. Soft scrambled eggs, American cheese, a hash brown patty served on a sesame scallion milk bun. Oh, that's a lot of egg.
It's a big boy right here.
This is definitely the biggest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, and probably the prettiest one as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of fluffy eggs.
I've got to give them credit on the eggs. Like, a lot of attention went into this.
It's also $17, John. It costs 5 times as much as a regular bacon, egg, and cheese.
What does the Aki Way bacon, egg, and cheese cost? About 17 bucks now as well. This is tied for the most expensive bacon, egg, and cheese in the city, I think. But will it live up to the hype? I mean, they told me 2-hour waits on weekends for brunch. I don't know if I'd wait 2 hours. Make a reservation if you want to come here. All right, let's take a bite and we'll discuss what we got going on here. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. This is just bringing like different textures and flavors to the mix that you don't think about with a bodega bacon, egg, and cheese, like how soft the milk bun is, the hash brown on top, which, you know, this is different. There was no hash brown on anything else. Even the eggs being super fluffy, this is incredible.
I know it's a bad comparison, but I do like putting hash brown in my McDonald's McGriddle. So this kind of makes me think of it a little bit.
This is sound crazy. Do you think this is too decadent for bacon, egg, and cheese?
Yes and no. I wouldn't mind it at all, actually.
If I'm waiting 2 hours inside at this diner, I think I would order this.
And the scallion taste is actually pretty pungent, pretty strong, in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's all super balanced.
Yeah.
And apparently they pick up these milk buns fresh every single day from a Chinatown bakery.
Yeah. Usually sweetness wouldn't be a part of your bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, but the bun itself has a hint of sweetness to it, which is really good.
Actually, probably less sweet than the French toast bagel too.
Actually, that's true. Usually a roll is just carbs you add to your bacon, egg, and cheese, but this one is something you should really enjoy.
What do you think about the idea behind this? Like a fusion Chinese, Asian diner? Like, diners are dying out in the city.
I think this is probably a right way to do it.
This is a way to get young people interested in diners again.
Exactly. Hip new restaurants and pop-up shops. Courtside fire escape, scallion pancake wrap burrito. It's like all very unique, innovative ideas around food. So I think this is the way to go.
It's more popular for brunch to order avocado toast. I think this is a unique way to bring bacon, egg, and cheese back into the picture at a diner.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too proud of myself eating an avocado toast in the public, but this one you can be eating proudly.
Nobody wants to watch that video. We're not making that video. That's too healthy for this channel. I just feel like they've elevated most of the basic ingredients.
Drop $1 worth of egg.
I just dropped $1 worth of egg right there. We're talking about trends. I think this is a trend in New York, just elevating basic food items and turning them into something like this.
I eat this every day if I win the lottery.
Wow.
Dropped another $2.
Oh my God.
Look.
This is delicious. I love the hash browns. It's delicious. Eggs are so fluffy. This is really good.
Would you pay 17 bucks for it though? Is it that good?
I would pay for it, but I'd never wait 2 hours for it.
I would pay for this if I had a reservation and we were eating indoors. I just think this is too nice to walk and eat on the street because every little egg you drop is $1 right there. So yes, I would definitely pay for this inside. This is by far the tastiest bacon, egg, and cheese of the day, but it's also no contest because of the ingredients.
Yeah, the hash brown really elevates it so much. Love it. Crunchy, and then the eggs are soft, and you don't need ketchup for this.
No, you definitely do not need ketchup. What do you think about that with New York, that you could find like every type of bacon, egg, and cheese imaginable? We went from bodega to bagel spot to expensive diner action.
Oh, we're blessed.
New York's the best. I love New York.
You know what could make this one better? Be right back.
What?
This, Sean.
Yo, that's what I said.
This was the missing link here. Not a coffee in Arizona. Amazing.
I'm gonna enjoy this with the rest of the sandwich.
Today we're going on a food crawl in Flushing, Queens, New York City, home to the world's largest Chinatown. We'll be joined by a native New Yorker who will show us where to go and what to order like a local. Hope you brought your appetites. We're gonna eat. Well, the cool thing about today's tour is that the first stop is literally steps away from the subway.
I mean, New Flushing Bakery is an iconic breakfast spot. They're really known for the egg tarts and also their Macau-style or Portuguese-style egg tarts. Comes out fresh in the morning, so we're here, first stop.
Which one do you recommend we
gotta get both because it's a little different.
Okay, we'll do both. I've had both separately in the New York Chinatowns. I've never done both at the same time to compare them though.
3个pork tart, 4个蛋挞，谢谢。
5 pounds of egg tarts here, ready to rock.
It's different because the top is actually bruleed and caramelized, and actually in Cantonese they call it po tat.
Okay.
And the po is because there's some Portuguese influence because these came from Macau and they made their way towards Hong Kong eventually, and it's really popular over there too.
All right, so this is one of the breakfast staples of Flushing, Queens, Chinatown. Let's take a bite. This is as good as I remember it. Not the first time I've been to New Flushing Bakery. So crumbly, it's just very delicate.
I think it takes a lot of skill to make this. Personally, I don't know how to make this at home, but like you said, it's delicate, it's eggy, but very balanced.
It's a little messy to eat on the street. I wouldn't recommend you downing this in one bite. But it's so good.
That's funny.
We're gonna time this by the flights. Filming in Manhattan, it's all about the buses and like the street noise. Here, it's about LaGuardia Airport, like non-stop planes flying overhead. I feel like your average American, when they think about Chinese food, they're probably gonna overlook the breakfast staples. They usually just look at like your standard dinner options.
There's a lot of different Chinese breakfasts. I mean, this is a good example, right? But I would say classic Chinese dessert manner, it's not too sweet. A lot of Chinese people, that's how they compliment dessert. They say it's not too sweet. If it is too sweet, they start to think that it's a little too much, but.
Which is the opposite of American donuts for breakfast, for example. You want it super sweet. This looks a little bit more delicate in the middle, like it's gonna ooze out.
There's different styles. Sometimes it's more of a full crust. You can tell this one again is like very layered. These are usually more simple. There's no brulee or caramelization on the top.
It's a lot simpler, I would say.
It's eggier and more dense.
Yeah, just gets right to the point with the egg.
If you're someone that actually prefers simple foods, I think this is the way to go.
If I was to eat one of these every morning, probably be this.
I agree with that. If I want to indulge in one, I'm going with the Macau Portuguese style.
Yeah.
But this is just classic. You can eat this every day.
So you've been coming here since you were how old?
4 or 5, maybe. My mom would bring me to her spots, the spots she likes. But I feel like as an adult, I've tried to explore a little bit more on my own.
Do you think it's changed at all?
I think there's a lot of new like real estate projects here. Park Hotel over there and Skyview Mall, when that came up, was like the big development. And I remember the first one was Queens Crossing, right on Main. Yeah.
They got the most popular item right in the front.
Yeah, this is their chili oil wontons, and everybody comes here for this. This is White Bear. Hi, could we get one order of number 6? All right, shisha.
Thank you.
All right.
Winning. I've been to this park before. I know exactly.
We used to come here as like high schoolers, and for whatever reason, we used to call it TB, but I don't know what TB stood for. Whew, this is hot. You gotta wear gloves for this.
I got some of the oils already coming out of my hands here.
That's how you know it's gonna be good.
I actually think this is one of the most popular dishes on TikTok and Instagram from Flushing, Queens, the wontons with chili oil on top.
It's on every like Flushing food crawl list, essentially.
Yeah. I've even had this before. I know the price has gone up a little bit, but what prices haven't gone up in this city lately?
Yeah, inflation's everywhere.
We got a boiled wonton with chili oil.
Yeah, Northern Chinese essentially, and it's really good. I think that's what makes Flushing special.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mainland Chinese spots in Manhattan, Chinatown, which is probably, I would say, probably more popular. It's pretty homogenously Cantonese.
Definitely a lot of cool foods to try out here. All right, let's give this a go.
Cheers.
Let's take a bite. You know, soft, chewy. Chili's not that spicy, I'd have to say. I think it was a little spicier the last time I tried it, but it's just a perfect snack for sharing with friends.
They've definitely made their chili oil more mild over the years, but I think it's still really delicious. These are pork-based. You see chives in there, scallion as well. I would assume there's probably minced ginger in here as well.
Yeah, if you want more of the oil, you can just dip your wonton right there.
What I do like about this is that, you know, with the Sichuan peppercorn, it's more of a numbing spice, right? It kind of sits on your taste buds and kind of stays there. subtly, as opposed to maybe like a Nashville hot chicken. Like you eat that instantly, it's fire breathing down
Burning,
your
yeah,
throat.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
This is better. Now, if you're watching and never been to New York before, it's about 22 minutes from Grand Central on the LIRR to get to Flushing, 35 minutes or so on the 7 train from Midtown. Do you think this should be on every tourist radar?
I do think so, because I think it's the culmination of the true New Yorker experience. Being born and raised in New York, the reason why I've stayed is I love the diversity. There's a lot of accessibility here. We're really lucky for that. And for me, it's like, you could get a different flavor of what our Chinatowns look like. I mean, there's Manhattan Chinatown, and thinking about New York, Manhattans and Flushings are the biggest, but they offer different things.
The crazy thing is today's video is basically 3 blocks. We are showing you the easiest possible food crawl in Flushing, but as the title of this video says, this is the world's largest Chinatown. This goes blocks upon blocks upon blocks. You could spend years and not see everything.
And that's, to your point, that's how dense it is. That's how much is going on here. I mean, when you look across the street, there's just stores on stores on stores, and there's everything. You mean, there's a crab house over there. There's literally Flushing ice cream factory over there. It's pretty much endless.
Got a Malaysian restaurant.
Yeah, it's endless.
Well, this is easy. Our next stop is right across the street.
Yeah, it's right there.
All right, so this is one of the best grab-and-go street foods in all of Flushing.
$2.50 Peking duck buns.
Normally, you don't equate duck with being cheap.
No, not at all. And it's like really just paired on the spot. We're just doing it right now.
Oh, that's it?
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, that's hot.
It's as hot as the chili oil. Ooh.
We got the Peking duck bows for $2.50. Usually with Peking duck, the skin needs to be crispy, so they actually use air pressure to essentially blow air under the skin and prepare it. But they were cutting this up right there. You know, this is one of the most popular stalls in Flushing, so let's give it a go.
For me, this is just like greatest hits of Flushing. I have been here before. It's never let me down.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
You know what I really like? The sweet glaze on top of the duck. I love sweet, like sweeter foods like that.
Essentially like a really thick honey maltose goes on the skin. And then you got hoisin sauce right here, giving it that sweetness. I mean, I crushed my duck, it's gone.
$2.50, gone in 2 bites.
Well, you're more civilized than I am.
Normally it's not true. You know, it could be a little bit messy with some of the sauce. What I find so interesting about this is you think of duck in a lot of cuisine, let's say like a French restaurant, that's one of the more expensive items on the menu. Here, $2.50.
And they also have the option of just straight up getting their roast duck, which is different from Peking duck, but get that over rice and it's a meal, and it's not that expensive.
And again, this sticks to our street food theme of the day. You can just grab this and go, like bring this home for everybody. All right, you guys are in luck. Next 2 stops are inside this food hall. After you.
It's gonna be great to go inside.
I love food halls like this. Love them, love them.
Trying to find the spot. Where is it?
I think it's in here.
Let's look again. Maybe it's not in here. We walked right by it.
We're looking all over for it. It's right in front.
So this is my first time here as well, but I think it's really awesome that there's a Xiaoping place in Flushing, and also this is again Northern Chinese food. I think it'd be hard to find this in Chinatown, Manhattan Chinatown.
Yeah.
It is.
And the favorite thing for me is I have never tried a Xiaoping before. So living in New York City, you have opportunities to try foods from other countries, other cultures on a daily basis.
3个这个，而且3个红豆饼。Yeah, 谢谢。Yeah, so Xiaoping, what it directly translates to, Xiao means like roasted, right? And Bing means flatbread. You know, people do it in different ways. This is essentially a roasted or baked Xiaoping.
So this is my first time ever trying a Xiaoping. I didn't even know what this was until today. And we're showing you the sweet version first. We're gonna go backwards. We're gonna start with dessert.
So this type I've never had because she said there's sticky rice in here.
Okay. All right, let's discover this. By the looks of this, I was actually expecting this to be a lot sweeter and like more sugary than it is. It's really interesting. It's crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, like nothing I've really ever had before.
We also ordered the red bean paste filling. For people that have had that, it's actually kind of similar, but imagine a rice texture that's sticky.
She led us back there to film. She like stopped operations, had no idea who we were. I thought that was so cool. That's so local here.
We were saying she was doing everything, taking orders, rolling out the dough, putting the dough into the oven, egg washing the dough. It was incredible.
Love that about Flushing. So many small little family-owned businesses like that.
Yeah, and it's completely homegrown, and I think that's what makes it special, right? That's what keeps this community going.
Thank you so much. Wow. So sometimes when we make these videos, we don't tell them we're coming and the owners just get excited. So this is a sauce aroma pancake. I'm not even sure what is in this, and that's half the fun right now. I'm just gonna try this. It tastes kind of like a focaccia bread. Like it was giving me Italian vibes, but a little spicier. Justin, I want your take on this.
Damn, this is really good. I feel like it has layers to it. The texture, that can't be easily achieved. And also, it seems like a sweet and spicy sauce. It seems like there was also bacon bits in here. There's also scallions in here. Like, and watching her make it, I was like a kid in a candy store, just the way she was making it was incredible.
It's like your grandma was just cooking in the back. My favorite things I've ever had in Flushing, hands down.
My brain synapse is firing off because I've never had this before.
Wow. So hot that we have to like double wrap the bottom to even hold it. And I was joking off camera, this is like a, I don't know, Chinese calzone stuffed on the interior. Got lamb, cumin. All right, let's try this. I actually didn't even get any of the lamb on my first bite, and I'm happy about that because now we're letting it air out a little bit. The little onions on top of the lamb, cumin flavors excellent. This is so interesting, a Xiaobing, because you know I'm fine with meat being stuffed into something. I'm used to that, but all the juices, that's what's keeping this piping hot.
You know, what's amazing about this is really, I think, again, the texture, the fact that there's soup inside, there's really meaty filling in there, but then you get this flakiness on the outside. I mean, this is worth burning your hand for. I've already done it 5 times since we've been here, but
that's been delicious. That's the theme of today's video. Everything's been piping hot.
Yeah.
It's kind of like eating a soup dumpling too quickly if you don't know any better. The hot soup squirts out.
Absolutely.
Flushing, Queens, you can find like almost every type of Chinese food imaginable. Ooh, Xiaobings. I want to let everybody know Justin runs a really great account, Hungry Artist NY. Tell people about yourself, where to find you.
It's at Hungry Artist NY. I'm a New York City-based food content creator and artist. I actually illustrate foods as well as tell food stories, and it's great to be on today.
If people want to buy your art, put a link in the description.
Yep, it's hungryartistny.com, but link down below.
Next stop is right next door. This is the easiest commute ever.
Can we get #1 signature?
This place has by far the longest line and most people waiting, for good reason. We got the signature Joe's Steamed Rice Roll, and you can tell we're in the right spot. Even Anthony Bourdain ate at the original, so that doesn't say something, I don't know what does.
This looks like it has beef, pork, shrimp, dried shrimp that is. It's also layered in the steamed rice roll exterior, which, you know, John referred to. It's soft, but it really has a pull to it, and that's because of the starch in the dough that they use. And it's topped with sesame seeds.
Let's give it a whirl. Let's try it.
All right, cheers, man.
Cheers. Oh, I know it's popular, but definitely one of the best steamed rice rolls I've ever had in New York City.
It's popular for a reason, and I forgot to mention there is fried egg in here as well, and vegetables. I would say it's a very balanced meal. Like it doesn't make you feel too heavy, and the sauce on it's fantastic.
The best part is you get to season it yourself. You can use their in-house soy sauce, or if you're a little bit more adventurous, some of the hot chili oil right here.
There's also zhenjiang vinegar, which is black vinegar. I love spicy food, so definitely got to give a little hot chili oil.
I want to try a little. I'd say medium heat.
But I really like it. It's really balanced. I mean, it's not that spicy like John said, but I like it. The flavor's there. It's really nice.
Both of us said we were so full, and we've suddenly grown second stomachs for this.
I got second wind. I'll probably regret this later from being a full perspective, but yeah.
One of my favorite things about coming to Flushing is these little food stalls, these markets. I can't think of too many other places in New York City that even have this.
I mean, there's some in Manhattan, Chinatown, but it's pretty rare to find. And I would say this is reminiscent of what you see in Asian countries, like when I was in Hong Kong, and this is what we saw there on a much larger scale, but this really reminds a lot of people of home, and it's cozy and it's intimate.
It really is like traveling without leaving New York City. That's the magic of the 7 train. 35 minutes from Midtown, you're here. Today we'll be showing you New York's most popular and outrageous deli sandwiches that are taking social media by storm. We'll try them all and let you know if they live up to the hype. Here we go.
I got Greg, native New Yorker, back on the channel. We're starting at Dat's Deli here in Hollis, Queens, and the line already is down the block. Greg, you ready for this oxtail mac patty?
Oh yeah, never eaten anything quite like this in the combinations. I mean, I love oxtail, love mac and cheese, grew up eating patties, but combined together sounds crazy. Let's see what the hype's all about.
Let's do an oxtail mac patty, goat curry mac patty, jerk chicken mac patty.
All right, I got you, bro. My uncle and auntie make these fresh patties for us, deliver them every day. This is gonna be like the oxtail right here. We shred it so there's no bones. Every bite is like you're taking a bite of a whole dinner. Personally, the goat is way better than this one, but this is the one that went viral because everybody loves oxtail. And these are our 3 best patties right here to me. Our goat, our jerk, and our oxtail.
So Josh is about to let all the people who've been waiting outside for like an hour in because they ran out before. It's like this every day here, they're that popular. Check this out.
I honestly thought like, oh, okay, we're gonna have people from all over New York coming to get the patty, but a girl from the UK has came. I got people coming from Jamaica, Barbados, like such an amazing feeling that I have people all over the world coming to try something I created.
All right, so Greg and I are gonna try the most viral sandwich they have, the oxtail, and this is just making waves over social media. I would say Dat's Deli is probably the most popular deli in New York right now for social media purposes. What do you think?
I think so too. I've been seeing it everywhere.
We've got a beef patty with cheese, and we've got mac and cheese on top, oxtail, extra gravy, surrounded by cocoa bread. This is an insane hybrid here.
And the patty is homemade too, which I think really is gonna add an interesting touch to it.
Let's do this. So you got the oxtail on top, a little spicy, and all the juices just soaked in with the cocoa bread. This sandwich is honestly just bragging. This is a messy, delicious sandwich.
The soft cocoa bread, the fresh patty, freshly made patty, mac and cheese adds that little extra, but oof, the oxtail is really the star. I think the cocoa bread really brings it all together. That soft cocoa bread is amazing.
Now you grew up in Queens. You said that West Indian food, cocoa bread, beef patties, all this stuff you had.
Oh yeah, so even like as a kid, I always love eating patties, either it's at home or at the pizza shops where you would get it, they would cut it open, they would add mozzarella cheese if you like, pepperoni. That's what the owner, he said he likes it that way best. I think it's just taken to a whole nother level here with the West Indian flavors.
Bodegas and delis like this one are really getting a lot of attention, where in the past, it was just something that was local to you.
You could tell that there's a lot of care and love is put into this.
This deli came about because I really wanted to open up a restaurant so people could taste my dad's food. I first originally made the mac patty one night after work. And when I cut it open, it looked so appealing. And I told my sister, I'm like, post this on the business page and let's see if people are gonna come for it. The next day I opened, a girl walked in and she bought a mac patty. And then after that, a bunch of influencers came to start trying the original mac patty. And one day a girl came in here and she asked for oxtail gravy on it. And then the guy behind her was like, hey, can you do that too for mine? And I was like, yeah, we got something here. And then I told my aunties and uncle that I need veggie patties, I need the shrimp patties, I need chicken patties. We're about to start trying to make a goat patty.
That's incredible. As much as I like the oxtail, I think the curry goat, I like it even better.
Why do you think the oxtail took off?
All that oozing gravy on top. You know, social media, sandwiches that are very like dripping, liquid, kind of like that, they always blow up. Like oozy eggs, things like that. So I'm not surprised about it.
Jerk chicken's phenomenal. A little spicier than the oxtail. I personally like the oxtail a little bit better, but I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these 3 picks here. This definitely might be the best sandwich I've ever had at a deli in New York City. Greg, what do you think? Top 5 for you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of West Indian food. Take it to another level with bolder flavors and just a lot of love put into it. I love what's going on here. I love what he's doing.
It's like so many people say when they get off of JFK, this is one of their first stops they come to because it's so close and the food is so good.
You know, I always tell people, try pizza when you first get to the city. I say try Dat's Deli first. That would be a really cool move.
Try something different, you know?
From the new school to the old school, we've got the sandwich king of Astoria.
Sal, Chris, and Charlie's an Astoria legend. It's been here for as long as I can remember. I grew up in Astoria. It's been here for very many years. Go-to spot for your classic deli sandwiches. Very popular with blue-collar workers. You have cops, construction workers. Oh, we just smell those deli meats. You see all these jars of peppers too.
Peppers, that's the first thing I noticed. Definitely peppers. All right, still 1 bomb.
Everything?
Everything, yeah.
Oh my god. What is this?
You know what you're getting yourself into, huh?
Look at that.
3 pounds, I've been told. Oh man, dude, feel this.
Each sandwich is 3/4 of a pound. Basically, each piece is a sandwich.
For $17, I think it's a great value. We've got thinly sliced ham, turkey, roast beef, pastrami, mortadella, pepperoni, provolone cheese, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, hot and sweet roasted peppers, mayo, mustard, olive oil, and vinegar. I lost count of how many ingredients we just had there.
Crazy.
We're talking about social media. I saw one TikTok that labeled this the most aggressive sandwich in New York City.
I don't know, it's like organized chaos. If you were to make this at home, you wouldn't be able to make it like this.
I don't know how you're gonna get all this in one bite. We could certainly try.
Yeah.
Let's take a bite. I can't even tell you what I just had, but it was basically like putting an entire deli into one bite, like mixing every cold cut you've ever heard of.
Like the amount of meat and cheese is very heavy, but I like this. You do get that creaminess of the mayo in there, you get the crunchy peppers. It just works well.
They created this before social media was really a thing. This isn't something that they just came up with because they want new people to come. They're like an established spot in Astoria.
Oh yeah. So they open at 5. You can either be a responsible adult going to work, or you can be a degenerate after going out partying all night and get one of these and it'll hit the spot.
And you said you did it last summer, right? This is like surprisingly satisfying right now. Actually,
Really
this
is.
is the second time I've had this, and this is way better than I remember it. Best way to eat this, in my opinion, take it home, have a plate, get a fork and knife ready for the end of it. This is tough to hold together. What do you think?
I think I'm just lucky I had this end piece here, so it's kind of staying together a little bit better. What makes a sandwich really special too is the bread. It's just perfectly crispy, but not too hard. It really holds it together. With this much inside, it absorbs all the sauce, all the meat and cheese really well. Which is the reason why they are the sandwich king of Astoria. They're pros.
All right, so Greg is my go-to food insider in New York City, and if you want some of his knowledge, take his Queens street food tour. Link down below in the description. He will show you some of the best spots in Jackson Heights, Queens. It's like eating all over the world. Give it a look.
Love to have you. Come join me, please. Love to host you around Jackson Heights.
Another new school spot here, notable in Astoria, just a mile from our last stop, and they are famous right now for the Jamaican fusion sandwiches.
That already sounds incredible. I love Jamaican food. Let's see what these fusion sandwiches are all about.
Blowing up right now on social, blowing up. All right, you can just tell how new this is, but you looked up there and you saw something that I didn't even think about.
Double R. That's the old N train back in the day. I like how that's the old 30th Ave Crescent Street. They even have Ting. That's Jamaican soda, grapefruit soda. Good stuff.
I used to work in the hospital. Work in the hospital for like 18 years. To hang out here every day. A friend of mine used to own a store before. So when he decided that he didn't want to do it anymore, me and a very close friend of mine, Jeff, we don't want the space to go to waste. So we both just came together, keep the American deli, but just a little fusion on it. Lived in Astoria all his life. I grew up in Jamaica. So we just blended the two, and you know, the notable was born.
What's the impact been of social media in bringing you a lot of business?
Listen, man, hungry artists, Johnny Eats, I'm no lie, it's probably a 50% jump in business since Johnny and Justin came. People came from Boston, everybody comes from Long Island, Brooklyn, the whole New York City been here to support us. It's been pretty good.
They're letting us try a little bit of the oxtail empanada before we eat our sandwich.
Looks amazing. Empanada's nice and crispy, nice flavor, and the oxtail very juicy and tender.
I was about to say, I don't know where I like more, the empanada itself or the oxtail. Both are fantastic.
My mom made us learn how to cook. She showed us how to do the jerk chicken. I love cocoa bread, and I love roasted red peppers, so I just threw that in there, and that's how the Jamrock Chop was born. For the Jamaica me crazy, I think that KFC in Jamaica have the best chicken and the best coleslaw. Thousand Island dressing has that sweet taste, and the coleslaw has that sweet taste. So we just put coleslaw and the jerk chicken together, so you know you have the sweet and a little bit of spicy with the jerk chicken.
Look how much meat is in here. It's on that cocoa bread. The cocoa bread is very soft, but it's been pressed down on a panini press. It's got those marks on top. Oof. Jerk chicken, legitimately one of my most favorite things to eat in the world. Let's give it a shot. Chicken is very smoky, and it's got that jerk sauce on top. I love that cocoa bread though. It's just so soft and spongy. You mix that all together. Get those little crunchy peppers in there. Got a nice bit of heat in here. I love it.
So instead of chopped up steak, We've got oxtail with a jack cheese, peppers, a secret menu item. They only have oxtail Philly cheesesteak and oxtail quesadillas available on Thursdays. This is just calling my name right now. It's just so much softer than your typical Philly cheesesteak with a cocoa bread. And the oxtail, a little spicy, got the peppers. Oh, a very interesting play on the Philly cheesesteak, and one that I really like a lot. Also important to note, we are standing outside of Notable.
No table. No tables here, we're standing and eating.
Good eats, no seats. Greg mentioned before how they have a lot of Jamaican drinks in there. We're trying this sorrel drink. This reminds me of a Jamaica I've had in Mexico.
It's the hibiscus flower, a bit of ginger, really nice. It goes perfectly with sandwiches.
Instead of word of mouth now, I think it's just like sharing an Instagram reel or a YouTube video. If you like my videos, do share them with people and say, check this spot out. And Notable, I mean, they are notable, all right, for having incredible sandwiches. And you were telling me that not so easy to find Jamaican food in Astoria, right?
Nearly impossible until this spot opened up. The versus Astoria, Jackson Heights area is, we did not really have West Indian food, but now there's a Jamaican spot right here in Astoria. Definitely be back.
Walking across the Brooklyn Bridge could work up quite an appetite, which is why we're showing you the top food spots and hidden gems in DUMBO, Brooklyn's most popular neighborhood for tourists and an underrated foodie destination. Let's eat. Steps from the Manhattan Bridge is a hole-in-the-wall noodle shop that could be one of the best hidden gems in the entire area. After you. What do you think?
I didn't know what to expect because of the outside, but it's so cool. Like, they did such a great job with that small space. I really like that part.
I got the vibe like we stepped into somewhere in, I don't know, Tokyo, a little small noodle shop. Could you tell us like the story of how Lucky Rabbit came to be?
Yeah, I took this space during COVID, but I've lived in this neighborhood for 13 years, so I kind of knew exactly what the neighborhood needed. And actually during the branding process and during the development process, my little bunny rabbit passed away. And then I decided to name it after him, so I came up with the name Lucky Rabbit. The menu's a fusion of a lot of my travels around the world. I lived in Bangkok for 3 years, and I've been a chef for almost 30 years now. But this is mainly food that I would cook for myself. I just needed an outlet to put this menu together. So I tried to make it as vegan as possible. Almost the entire menu, we can do vegan option or with our protein.
What would you say are your best sellers?
We have two signature dishes. My braised beef noodles, then we have our spicy chili garlic chicken. Our dumplings are really popular. We make truffle mushroom sweet potato dumplings. We make matzo ball soup dumplings.
I'm curious, what are the challenges of running a business in a space this small?
Running a business is challenging in any regards, but we're limited here. You know, I only have 2 fridges. All the food we have for the day is what we have. Everything is fresh every day. I go to the market every day, bring in fresh product because we don't have space for more than that. We're gonna make the braised beef dish. These are our Shanghai noodles. So we get these fresh every day from Chinatown. Big handful of those. Those will cook for 2 minutes. So this is a 12-hour braised brisket. We cook it on this pot overnight. We turn the broth that it cooks in into a really nice, thick, creamy sauce. We put a bunch of fresh Thai basil in there, scallions, and then we're just gonna warm this up. Nice, brown, crispy. We just add that in with the beef. All right, and then we'll put that in a bowl. So we add a little bit of our ginger scallion sauce to the top of that. Finish with more scallions, cilantro, fried shallots, kazami shoga ginger. So that's the beef dish, braised beef noodles. This cucumber dish is like my personal favorite dish. I love it. Start with a couple of handfuls of nice organic fresh cucumbers. Cilantro, more Thai basil, scallions. Our ginger scallion sauce. Sauce is inspired by the great New York noodle town in Chinatown. So I just did my version of that. This is tahini, so chili lime powder, fried shallots. This is mushroom seasoning. It's an interesting ingredient. This is what we use for salt, but this is just a mushroom concentrate. It adds like a real interesting flavor to our dishes. Squeeze a lime in here, and then we finish with kazami shoga ginger. It's a salt-cured pickled ginger. The matzo ball soup dumplings, we make in these cute little cups. These are the dumplings. They're a matzo ball filling with chicken, so those are gonna go in there. We have some delicious chicken soup. It has a bit of more Asian flavor than a standard chicken broth. Put up some water on there, and then cover it up. We'll just add a little bit more of that chicken soup. Some nice fried shallots, and some fresh dill. All right, that's it, man. And then we'll do the same thing with the truffle mushroom sweet potato dumpling. These are a vegan dumpling we make. Same treatment on this one too. So that's gonna crisp up on one side, steam on the other side. Black truffle sauce we make. So that's black truffle with activated charcoal, vegan mayo. We'll put some scallions on there. A little bit of that fried shallot. Some of that nice red ginger. That's our truffle mushroom sweet potato dumplings. A couple of our signature dishes.
It is amazing what you can do with only 300 square feet of space. Like all these imaginative dishes and the different plays on your typical Chinese, Taiwanese, Asian cuisine. We got their signatures in front of us. What are you thinking looking at this?
Everything looks so good. I don't even know where to start. Like,
I want her to start with the chicken and matzo ball soup dumplings, which went viral on the internet. And I am going to have the truffle mushroom sweet potato dumplings. I love the presentation too, before we even take a bite.
Mouth is watery. Here we go.
Yep. The first thing that comes to mind for me here is how balanced all the ingredients and the flavors are. I've never had a dumpling quite like this before, but as somebody that loves sweet potato, love truffles, the combination, the textures, it's so good.
There are so many flavors going on. They hit you one after another.
I mean, matzo ball soup, very popular in New York, huge Jewish community, but matzo ball dumplings, should this be a thing?
This is a thing right now. Right here. Love it.
The Eastern Cukes, this was Jeremy, the owner's favorite on the menu. I didn't know vegetables could be this tasty. This is how you get your children who don't like vegetables to eat their vegetables, right?
I can't stop eating them.
It's got the Asian marinade, the tagine, scallions, cilantro, kasumi ginger.
Oh my goodness.
You can see the thought that went into each and every ingredient here.
Everything.
We're about to dive into the signature, which is the Lucky Rabbit braised beef and nudes. Braised prime beef, onion scallions, fried shallots, cilantro, lime, and of course, the noodles.
Here we go.
All right, ready? I just tried the beef so far. I haven't even really played with the noodles yet. So juicy, so tender. Oh, I steal some of yours?
Yep.
We're battling right now.
Yes, we are. You can feel the meat melting in your mouth with all those delicious juices going on.
It's definitely the owner's take on it, and I like what he said. Like, this is the type of food he wants to eat when he's home and he's relaxing. It's its own unique style, and I mean, that's what I love about filming in New York. You get so many different fusions, so many originals being developed. This is definitely one of my favorite hidden gems that we've come to in a really long time.
I'm speechless.
All right, never had a matzo ball dumpling before. You know, I grew up with matzo ball soup. I would have preferred these matzo ball dumplings in my matzo ball soup, to be honest with you.
Next year for Passover.
Lately, I've been on a vegan kick on the channel. Vegan Thai iced tea. Never tried that before. It's not overly sweet. I've had too many of these that are just too darn sweet, but this one.
Yeah, you're right. It's so good. Thank you.
Oh, see?
I like everything. I can stop eating everything.
What's also great about this menu is most of the things are vegan if they don't have meat and gluten-free. You're traveling and somebody in your group has dietary restrictions. This is a good spot. Although I wouldn't recommend you bringing 10 friends here. You're probably not going to get a seat. As you can imagine, could be busy here. Might have to take the food outside. That's okay. Eat it with a view.
Once you step inside, you really forget where you are. And then when you get your food, you definitely forget everything. You're like, where am I?
That's what good food can do, for sure. Take you away from your worries for a little bit. And this definitely qualifies. If you've never been to DUMBO before, a couple years back, we shot a really detailed guide on all the top attractions in the neighborhoods. So after you watch this, you may want to check it out. Inside the doors of this very touristy food hall could be one of the best barbecue spots in all of New York. Right back through here, Bark Barbecue. Dominican, Texas style. And it's no shock that they have by far the longest line in the entire market.
Bark Barbecue is basically a silver lining of the pandemic. I was cooking in the backyard, fell in love with barbecue through a YouTube video, went down that rabbit hole, ended up buying a gas-assisted smoker, and here we are.
How did you come up with the whole Dominican meets Texas style?
I wanted to know how I can actually merge and integrate my culture and my flavors into barbecue. Luckily enough, everybody's been really receptive to it and really open to trying these new flavors.
Have you ever had people from Texas come in and tell you what their take is on this?
There's quite a lot of people from Texas that have came. We just had a huge editor of Texas Monthly come through, have our food. Right now, barbecue has what I would call a barbecue boom. So you have people from all different types of countries, colors, and flavors just coming in and trying to do their own thing.
What would you say makes your style Dominican?
We use imported Dominican oregano on all our meats. When you really think about Texas barbecue, you think about salt and pepper and probably some other things, but you wouldn't think about oregano, a lot of chili powders. And one of the sleepers I would have to say that everybody ends up loving is the maduros. Everybody, when they come and they have the maduros with those fatty meats, they're actually very pleasantly surprised that it goes so well.
What are your best sellers?
So I have to say, obviously brisket. Also our chicharrón, Dominican style, which is basically skin-on pork belly. We smoke it and we fry to order. So it's something that's really, really nice, fatty, crispy. And then our smoked carnitas. In the Dominican, we do carnita de res, so it's with beef. Usually you'll find that in Mexico to be with pork, but we do it with beef.
How does it feel when you look out and you see this long line waiting?
Oh, it still doesn't hit me yet that people actually wait online for the food. People act like I want them to wait online. I wish I can go through a line fast. So here's a brisket. This is our #1 seller. So now I'm gonna split this down the middle. So we got our lean, we got our fatty. Mucha grasa. She wants mucha grasa, meaning a lot of fat. So these are Texas burn ends right here. Our brisket, we season the day before the cook. Since it's such a thick piece of meat, it allows like the salt and all the spices to actually penetrate. We're talking about probably like a 14, 15-hour cook. And we do prime brisket, so it's a little bit more forgiving in terms of rendering fat. That's the fatty part of the brisket. Great quality meat, great cook. So that's our chicharrón, that's our pork belly skin on. Smoke it for about 6 hours and fry to order. Otro de chicharrón. And other ribs. That's the beautiful thing about barbecue. People meet each other on the line, they're already conversing, interacting. And sometimes I don't even gotta advertise the food. Like the lovely lady right there just advertised it for me. That's our mac and cheese, famous mac and cheese. So these are our ribs. Our ribs are smoked for like about 7 hours. Yeah, we do like a little glaze with our molasses-based barbecue sauce. 2 chopped chicharrón and brisket sandwich. That's a very popular sandwich. So this is something that one of my guys here, Julio, came up with. Somebody wanted both, so he just chopped it up all together. And it's a great mix. And it's a pretty basic sandwich. Some pickled onions for some acidity to go through the fat, but it's just a great bite. And this is where I have to say where the Dominican and the Texas style merge together. And our pulled pork that we season kind of like South Carolina style. So we make like our own little vinegar sauce. We didn't even plan on being like a well-known sandwich spot. When you have the right combination of things and they just click.
We've got about 50 pounds of barbecue here. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to eat this. All right, Adriana has been waiting ever so patiently for this.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of meat.
I don't even know what to start with.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork.
Yeah.
I like pulled pork. Oh my God. Like I felt a Dominican twist right there.
You know, what he said that stood out to me about like the Dominican side was, one, they import oregano from the DR, the molasses as well for their barbecue sauce, also from the Dominican Republic. So there's those little subtleties with the meat that you can notice. And Bark Barbecue, changing up the game a little bit with this fusion. This brisket, so tender. Love the fatty part of it.
Oh, it's so good.
Now, if anyone's curious how much this would have cost, the answer is I have no idea. He generously gave us this entire platter to show you guys. I imagine it would have been pretty costly to do all of this. Chicharrón, probably the most Dominican thing on the menu. And he was actually putting a sandwich together that was half chicharrón, I think half pulled pork. And he said, like, this is the fusion that we're talking about. Let me see. The chicharrón is has like a smoky pork flavor, and the pork grind's really, really crunchy. What I found interesting was he was equally as excited about the side dishes as he was about the main courses. Because a lot of these have that Dominican flair to them, a Dominican spin, like Adriana's favorite, maduros.
Yeah, I've been in like a couple barbecue spots in the US. And I've never seen maduros, of course, and they are my favorite, so I love seeing them here.
Try it.
Of course, you never had to tell me twice. Oh, they're so good. If you haven't tried maduros, you have to try them because you're missing so much.
Try this mac and cheese with me.
I already tried it, and it's not just your regular mac and cheese. It's like something my Latin grandma will make. For me, she made mac and cheese.
Took the words out of my mouth, minus the Latin grandma part. Like, this is taking like the boring American mac and cheese
Definitely.
and elevating it with those Dominican spices. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to move from here. You know, if you've eaten barbecue in Mexico before, okay? Maybe there's a little Texas influence there as well. Have you ever had anything quite like this before, though?
This is the first time that I see this combo with like Latin style, with barbecue style, and I think I'm more into this. Like, I was looking for my Latin side, and this is perfect for me.
I'm starting to notice this trend. The more videos we film, a lot of people say, we started our business during the pandemic because people had all this time to experiment with stuff, to try new things. For people who don't know, there's not just one type of American barbecue, whether there's like Carolina style, Texas style, Kansas City style. This is something new. It's pretty neat. That's a queso frito.
Queso frito. Oh wow, very Latin.
Yeah? Of all the things we saw being prepped in front of us, nothing got my mouth watering like their ribs. It's gonna get messy, folks. So tender, it comes right off the bone. I keep thinking back to what he said about the molasses being this missing ingredient for this Dominican Texas fusion, and I'm really feeling it in that barbecue sauce here. Wanna take a bite? What do you think?
So tender, and I love the smoky flavor.
You eat at enough of these restaurants that are doing well, you start to see little similarities. Like owners who love their job and love talking to people.
Yep.
You ever gonna look at barbecue the same way again?
I think this place has spoiled me really bad right now.
If you wanna tell me in the comments, what other barbecue spots should I try in New York? I do wanna try some good barbecue. Tell me where. I always had a certain expectation for barbecue. I know what to expect, and with this, expect the unexpected. I wanna try something new. Bark, very interesting choice. It's worth the wait, trust me. Now, I know some of you may say, why did I not include one of the famous pizza spots in this video? Giuliano's or Grimaldi's. The reason I didn't include them is because you need a whole pie there, and I wanted to open up the audience to different spots outside of the super famous ones here in Dumbo. But if you're curious, we did an entire video about Giuliano's versus Grimaldi's a few years ago, if you want to see my impressions of them. On one of the most beautiful streets in one of the most beautiful neighborhoods is our stop for dessert at this little bakery.
I'm really excited to see what I'm gonna find behind those doors.
This is a bakery that you just gotta stop by. Now, I did speak to the owner, Hervé, and he said, I don't want to talk on camera. My food does the talking for me. I respect that. This whole neighborhood is just one big postcard, honestly.
I never thought I was gonna say like, oh, I'm here under the Brooklyn Bridge, drinking a coffee with a pastry, but here we are.
Here we are. Let's start with Madeleine's.
These are my mom's favorites. So if I like them, I'm gonna bring my mom here. I'm bringing my mom here.
See, we want another customer. They're soft, little sweet. And Madeleine's are from northeastern France. Perfect with coffee. So these are big in Mexico too.
Really big.
So for the main event, I have read that their croissants are some of the best in all of New York City. And we have the chocolate, where the chocolate is just baked right inside. Wow. So flaky, so crumbly, and I bit right into that rich chocolate in the middle.
Yes, they're right. This is one of the best croissants I've had in New York City.
Yeah, the bakery's been around since the early 2000s, which is probably outdated a lot of other businesses here. When you look at how much it costs to rent in a neighborhood like Dumbo, and you saw how busy they were, you know they're doing something right. And it's, it's more than just pastries. They also do have some sandwiches if you want a quick lunch inside. I think the play is take some stuff to go, walk around the waterfront, and she steals my food, see? The only thing missing right now that would have made this perfect would be the sun. If the sun was out, that's it. One of the top Brooklyn experiences you could have. Exploring Dumbo with some good coffee and some amazing croissants.
I think every time someone mentioned Dumbo, I was like, oh, it's go walk by the water, get a coffee, and that's it. But now I'm seeing that it's way more than that.
I think for the longest time, Dumbo was seen as this wasteland for food, and we're seeing more and more interesting places pop up where, it's not just a place you come to get a pie from Giuliano's or Grimaldi's. There's so much more, and hopefully seeing all these spots gave me some good ideas. This is a $200 meal. This is a $1 meal. And in this video, I'm gonna try meals at every budget to see if you can enjoy New York no matter how much you spend.
At the very bottom of the New York City food chain is the dollar pizza slice, and these spots are absolutely dying out. 99-cent fresh pizza located just a block from Grand Central is my absolute favorite. They just had a line out the door, and I think the locals know what's up here. Let's get 2 slices. So fast. A lot more efficient than going to the DMV, I'll tell you. 2 slices, $2. Nothing fancy here. There's a certain consistency to spots like this where you don't have like super high expectations for the best slice of your life. But for $1, are you really complaining? Not crispy enough for what it is. I've always wondered, how long will these places stay in business? They've been around since the 90s, and with everything else in this city getting so expensive, the fact you can still get a slice for $1 shocks a lot of people who aren't from New York. I talk to a lot of native New Yorkers, and some tell me that they think dollar pizza is absolute trash, it's not worth it, and they could be right if you're comparing this to really good pizza spots. Just like I would never compare a New York slice to a Neapolitan pizza, I wouldn't compare $1 slice to your average New York slice. These serve a utility. To me, this is like a snack food. They're open from 9:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the morning. I saw a bunch of delivery drivers popping up on their bikes, and I thought, how do you order dollar pizza? And then I realized that's where they were eating in between their deliveries. I saw a mom on the subway with 2 young girls, and dollar pizza is pretty easy to spot. And she was giving them each a slice for a snack after school. Having kids here, I know it's expensive. Having options like this, like whatever your income level is, whatever your budget is, if you're visiting from overseas, you're not gonna find dollar pizza in any other city in the US. And it's become such a part of New York culture. I wouldn't tell you to drive in from Connecticut for this, like I would say to drive in for a Luigi's or a Bleecker Street Pizza. But if you're by Grand Central, about to take the train home, I think this is a great value for $1. They're actually owned by immigrants from Bangladesh. They're doing the community a real service with this pizza, I'm telling you. This is just a 10-minute walk from Times Square, and I think one of the best hidden gems in all of Hell's Kitchen. For our $50 meal, we're eating at Easy Paella and Tapas.
Easy Paella was born with the idea of having a fusion between Venezuelan and Spanish food, and also to make the paella experience easy. Part of the fusion, actually, we have the history of our idea here with the Easy Paella, but if you see the menu, we have a whole page of tapas from Spain and a whole page of tapas from Venezuela. So we have a nice variety of tapas here.
$50 special, is that for one person or for 2 people? For 2. All right, for the special, I want to get the tostones with carne, and I want to do the Caribbean chicken paella, like medium spicy.
For John, this is a very Venezuelan dish, which is tostones, carne mechada.
Wow. Venezuelan tapas. I really like restaurants like this because they're not that big. They're cozy, like a New York City hotel room, like a New York City apartment. You know, you get to talk to the waiters, the owner. And one thing that I love about a spot like Easy Paella is it's so New York. I mean, yeah, you could find like legit, super authentic paella places, or you could go to something that's a bit of a fusion and try food from 2 different cultures. Getting our Venezuelan tapas on here. This is reminding me a lot the meat of like ropa vieja, which I've had before. The tostone, nice and crunchy. This is a good sharing plate. Now remember, this is $50 for 2 people. I'm getting a little bit greedy right now. Some of the dipping sauce on top. The great thing about Easy Paella is how close we are to Broadway. You want a nice dinner and you're in a bit of a rush, come here first. You could even do this $50 special. Perfect for a cute little date night as well. You're a tourist walking around all day. This right here is the reward after walking for miles and miles. This sangria.
John, this is the chicken Caribbean paella.
Thank you so much. I love the presentation of this. Again, this is for 2 people, plenty of food. Spicy Caribbean chicken. Honestly feels home cooked to me here. Just the right amount of spicy sauce on this too. Different style of paella, which I don't know if you're necessarily gonna find easily in New York. This is way too much food for one person, I'll tell you right now. I also like the open kitchen layout here. I'm a big fan of that in any restaurant anywhere in the world. I mean, you can see them in the big pot stirring your paella, making it fresh, like right in front of you. It's a good mid-range option for anybody because you can get vegetarian paella, seafood paella, chicken paella, or land and sea paella if you're feeling extra bold. Thank you.
Filled with Bavarian cream, and actually we have cinnamon powder and some toppings, chocolate and strawberry.
I don't know what kind of dinner special doesn't include dessert. This is putting me in a festive holiday mood right now. Let me try this. Bavarian cream inside, the secret ingredient. This is like a complete trip to Latin America in one meal, you know? I love the way the strawberry and the chocolate syrup on top just complements this whole thing. They could just sell churros and I might come here for dessert, I'm serious. They were just a churro spot. I remember, $50 special here, only Monday through Friday.
So if we're gonna do something luxurious, I figured we'll go 45 stories above Broadway for a 4-course tasting menu that is unlike anything you're gonna find in New York. And we're gonna bring the wifey along for the ride.
Hi, let's do this.
Brought her back, finally, Adriana.
Yes.
My ears are popping.
Yeah, mine.
Welcome drink. Cheers.
Perfect after that, right?
It's like we're at a fancy wedding.
Yeah, you're right. Happy hour.
And if you're gonna spend money in New York, being this high definitely helps. You know, we got Chrysler building right there. We're at Le Petit Chef, an immersive dining experience. And well, you see the projectors up there, lights on the table, little sneak peek of what's to come.
We have your first wine here, our Whispering Angels from Provence, France. It's our rosé, it's going to be paired with our fresh burrata.
There is a wine pairing included, so we're gonna get wine with all 3 of the first courses.
Don't finish it before the meal.
I know.
You drink too fast.
You're right, I do drink too fast. The whole point is to be paired. She knows me too well.
Yeah.
Place your napkins in your lap and make sure your plate is perfectly aligned with a magical circle of light. Please silence your phone so as not to disturb the other guests. And now, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you, all the way from France, measuring 6 centimeters, the world's smallest chef, Le Petit Chef.
So the chef is literally making the food in front of us. I can 100% say I've never seen something quite like this before. You?
Nope, never. This is pretty interesting. Now I understand why I saw some kids here.
Here's our fresh burrata kombucha squash puree below. We have some delicata squash rings with some fresh fig. We have a little sliced apple. There's some pumpkin seeds and pomegranate seeds. And then we top it all off with a nice balsamic pearls.
Like an explosion of flavors. You get one after another, and they all of them combine, and it's really good. I actually love it.
Having the projector, having this interactive experience, food's made more or less in front of you.
And the wine really pairs well with this. These are flavors that I will never put together. Of course, I'm not a chef, but they work so well together, like so delicious.
This bread. You know, I recall Gordon Ramsay on an episode of Hell's Kitchen was scolding restaurants for not replacing the utensils between courses, all right? They clearly know what they're doing. I would classify this as private communal dining because you are working at the pace of everybody else in the room. This is trippy. Oh, it's like seafood themed.
saffron risotto with butternut squash. We add a poached Maine lobster with a Parmesan frico and pea tenders to finish it off. Then it's topped off with a little chive and tarragon olive oil.
I like this, like you're eating and this is very peaceful, like having all the fish under you.
It's like we're eating on a giant fish tank right now.
Yep.
I have not felt so far away from that dollar slice we had earlier than I do right now. I'm feeling very rich at the moment. I don't normally go out of my way to order lobster, but I am quite happy with this one. Feeling very luxurious right now. We're flying first class on a nice airline. Getting the sky-high views definitely doesn't hurt.
This is stacked in Los Angeles, California, with Pyrenees salmon. This will be paired with our beach pork.
Oh, this beef's already there. Never seen like grilling like this before, I gotta tell you. Merci.
Served with a parsnip puree. We have some grilled broccoli, rabe, and carrots, and Brussels sprouts. We add a little chimichurri sauce over our beef short rib, and we'll finish off with a Chianti sauce for fish.
I gotta tell you, whatever experience you're looking for in New York, you can find it.
Yep.
I think you're more excited for the beef short rib than I am.
I'm drooling. Ooh, wow.
Nice and tender.
Tender. I'm more a beef person and I really like this one. So good.
Little chimichurri sauce on top. This has been the star of the show, I've gotta say. Practically worth the price of admission just for this short rib.
You don't feel overwhelmed. Everything works perfect together.
I'm very picky on my beef, and I'm such a fan of this short rib. What do you think of this kind of experience for a couple, for like a date?
Oh my god, this is a perfect date. You have a nice view, you're in the middle of one of the most popular areas in New York for tourists. You have excellent food, wine, you have everything for a date.
When she dances, she likes her food. That's the telltale sign.
So excited. I think he died.
Dusted in chocolate, served over a matcha crema with a matcha marshmallow. We have some raspberries, white chocolate pearls with coconut flakes. On top, we have gold spray chocolate caps. And what we're gonna do there is with the warm ganache that's on the side of your dessert, we're gonna pour it slowly over those caps. It's gonna create a cool little illusion, and that'll complete the whole dessert experience.
Oh, wow. Normally dessert is an afterthought, but I might remember dessert more than anything.
You don't just have a lot of flavors going on, you have a lot of textures going on, like crunchy, soft, super soft, cold, warm, everything. It's like a whole experience in your mouth.
That was one of the best desserts I've had in my entire life.
Definitely.
We don't typically do fine dining together, but I think it is worth a splurge every now and then.
Now you have to bring me more of it.
$200 meals every weekend now.
You spoiled me. I'm
You see
sorry.
what I've done?
I cannot go back.
Adieu et au revoir.
But I have to say that was very memorable, especially if you're staying near Times Square.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect to find a place so nice like this one in Times Square, no offense. I know, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of them, but I think when you go to Times Square, you're like, it's good, it's not, this is definitely good.
And as a little bonus, you can just walk out to Times Square right after if you want.
Today we're hunting down the absolute best burgers in Brooklyn, from irresistible $2 sliders to juicy gourmet patties. Hope you brought your appetites. We're gonna eat. We've got Luis back on the channel, local food guide, and we're starting at BK Johnny, which has a famous burger from all places, Pakistan.
Yeah, I've actually never heard of this place, but if it's Pakistani, you can bet that it's gonna have a lot of flavor.
I've read really good things about this, now we gotta try it.
It's nice in here.
It's got a lot of personality.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My name is Sipta and I'm the Chief Grilling Officer at BK Johnny.
I would love to know, how did this business come to be? I don't think you hear about Pakistani burgers
around every corner in New York.
That's true. Still, there's no Pakistani burger in New York City. This goes back to 2013. A friend of mine took me to this place. He said, this is the best halal burger you'll ever have in your life. It was the worst. I took a bite. I saw how he was making it. It was a frozen patty. He throws it on the griddle. And I said, I promise you one day, I'm going to make the best halal burger in the city. Now it's listed as the top 20 in Eater and Infatuation.
You tried it. You knew you could do better. What was your background to
Zero.
do that?
Zero background.
So
I've never worked in the restaurant industry. I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and that's a Punjabi background that I have. And we are all about friends, family, God. And I used to have friends come over to my house, and I used to grill for them. And they used to tell me, like, open up a restaurant. I'm like, I'm not going to open up a restaurant because I hate people, and people are privileged, and they want it their way, and like, I don't want to deal with that. But then I found this opportunity in Bushwick. There was a pizza store that was closed up. I took it over. And September 9th, 2015, when I got the license to operate a restaurant, the woman says, congratulations, you have a restaurant. I said, all right. She goes, what's on the menu? I said, no idea. October 3rd, 2015, the grill was on, and for 2 weeks, I practiced different blends, different techniques to make this burger.
I mean, you do more than just the burger. What's the concept behind the entire restaurant?
Lahori street food elevated.
So it's more than just burgers. I've tried them before. You're really well known for your lamb chops.
Yeah.
This caught my attention as I walked in. Like, you have messages from all over the world. Manchester, England. Came from the UK to have BK Johnny's beef burger. Best burger I've had. Has this blown up beyond what you would have ever imagined?
It actually did, and I thought it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be one of those things, you do it, you tried it, you gave your best, and then you're done. When the New York Times article came out, I had a 2-hour wait on each table. And
after that article?
Off that article.
Yeah.
Yep, and I've stuck to the same recipe since day one. It's still the same. People come after 7 years, and they try it, and they tell me it's exactly the same, and they left.
Yeah, I'll do one of the Johnny's medium.
Medium, spicy, or crazy spicy?
Medium. But is crazy like the most local Pakistani though?
Well, I will eat crazy, yes. My idea about spicy is spicy will make you have a little sweat on your head, and crazy is going to make you sweat.
Medium's good for me.
Nobody does mixed or spicy meats. So there's a lot missing overall from the New York cuisine. Again and again, smash burger. Like everybody's doing the same damn thing.
Because it works.
No, it's not just works. Think about from a business point of view. You could be out in 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you have an order ready. And you have the thinnest patties, they talk about the crispy. Bro, it's meat. How can you make it crispy? There's nothing in it.
How long does it take to make a burger here?
11 and a half, 13 minutes, depending on how you want it. So when you come here, your average amount of time will take for your food to get to your table from the ordering is 20 minutes. All the people who have owned restaurants and they have spoken to me, they're like, you guys are too slow. You're not turning the tables fast enough. And I said, the concept is to share the love of food. If I want to make another go, then I would rather switch over to some other cuisine. Like make it something quick.
This actually is a pretty spacious kitchen by like New York standards.
Yes, it is. It's 1.5 times bigger than a regular kitchen. Ready for this?
Luis, could you imagine you had this at home? Just random lamb chops whenever you want them.
I mean, that would be great.
I'm gonna make you guys 6 lamb chops. Start now, and you're gonna put a 3-minute timer on it. We have our secret blend of spices that we roast, mix, and grind. That's all oil and the spice mix, and it's ready. We just cut up the lamb chops and throw the spices on it, and we're done. Maximum marination is like a day.
How many of these do you sell in one day?
A lot.
A lot?
Oh yeah. People come from Philly, Baltimore, Boston, and they will eat it like candy. We're just gonna flip this. I grilled 400 lamb chops and 150 chicken rolls at Burning Man last year.
Oh, you go to Burning Man?
Yeah.
It's like a bartering system at Burning Man, right?
The idea is gifting. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm bringing you this. What are you gonna have? If you come to my camp and we are grilling, we give you whatever you have.
If I was at Burning Man, I'd hang out at your camp all day.
It's gonna be 4 days of me grilling at Burning Man this year. It's huge. It's 77,000 people over there. And you could do anything you want. You name it, and there are people doing that over there. These are the thick ones. They're gonna take a little bit time, like maybe 30 seconds more on each side, but these are done.
What are you spraying?
Secret stuff.
Secret stuff?
It's fresh lime juice. Lime is underrated in a lot of places, and I love the smell and the taste.
Good.
Yep, enjoy.
They got the little handles too. I love it. Ooh, that was packed with spices and flavor. It's a little kick to it, huh? Get the man some water.
You said, I'm Mexican, give me the spice. All right, let's go, Luis.
A lot of flavor. He's Mexican, I have a Mexican wife, so we're on the same level here.
Dip it in the chutney now.
Let's go. Love the minty flavor.
That makes it taste really fresh.
Yeah, it adds something extra to this, you know. I was just thinking of people get chicken wings for like big football games. I think I'd rather do this, a bucket of these lamb chops. You feel that in your throat, huh?
I think now it's starting to like settle in.
Yeah.
It was a lot of flavor at first.
Could have done a whole video just dedicated to these lamb chops. I think we would have been fine with that.
So this is my favorite item on the menu. It probably has like 13 spices in it. Fresh cilantro, onion, green chilies, and salt and pepper and everything else. And it's cousin to the lamb chops when it comes to flavors. I can eat this every day and not get bored. There's a very immigrant story, immigrant-based stories in this cuisine.
How long have you lived in the U.S.?
Long enough that I don't need a GPS to go around New York, and I drive everywhere.
Did you come here for college?
Yeah, I did my master's in fine arts from Parsons 20 years ago. Fun times. This burger is going to take 11 minutes to cook from start to finish, and we only start cooking when you guys order. Interesting part about these buns, they're made a mile away. It's called the Native Bread Bakery, and this is a custom brioche bun. Try it. Just have a bite. It's not sweet. It's very, very light. It's amazing. It actually complements my burger pretty well.
I would eat that bread just for fun.
Exactly. Key to a good burger is you gotta toast your bun.
What sauce did you just put
It's the mild mint chutney.
Mild mint chutney.
Yeah.
Cucumbers, all right.
I'm gonna put this back on the grill for 30 seconds.
So Luis, one thing we almost never do on this channel is eat in the kitchen. We're gonna try the Lahari burger, which is Sipte's favorite. This is the most Pakistani of all the burgers on the menu. You saw it being made. I mean, I love the inside of it. You have the chutney sauce on top. You've got onion. You even have cucumbers on the bottom, which...
I've never seen that, but I think it's gonna give it a really fresh taste.
Yeah? All right, let's take a bite. Cheers.
The meat's real juicy and flavorful. The cucumbers are a great addition, in my opinion.
I just needed a few seconds to like gather my thoughts. I was just enjoying it. Like I was literally just, I forgot about the camera for a second, and I was just enjoying that moment, how good that meat was, and all of the spices and textures, just very well thought out. That was delicious. We didn't even come here for this. This was just a surprise bonus. So thank you.
Yeah, I didn't really taste the spicy at first, but I'm tasting it now.
I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it.
So this one over here is the 8-ounce custom halal beef patty from Pat LaFreda. We worked on it for 2.5 weeks, back and forth, changing a few things over here, a few percentages over here, and this is a really high-fat patty. It's a 70-30 patty, and this is going to be the most delicious burger and the simplest. It gets the mint chutney. We make this mint chutney every day, small batches. So it takes a tablespoon, and then this is the cooling effect, the raita on top.
What is it called?
Raita.
Raita.
Yeah, it's a yogurt sauce with spices in it. And the 2 patties, and this is it. Only 3 items. Yeah, that's all it takes. Mint chutney, 8-ounce patty, grilled tomato, raita. That's it.
Thank you so much. You put a lot of love into that. We saw from the beginning. I'm really excited to try this.
Top 20 of New York City, right here.
I have to say, that was actually the most fun I've had in a kitchen with an owner since maybe ever. He was just giving us food left and right.
So we can tell he's real passionate about what he does.
That always comes out in the food itself. Not a quick burger, but I think it's gonna go down pretty quick. Ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
Extremely juicy.
The first thing I noticed was the mint chutney, and I never would have thought about pairing mint, a minty flavor on a burger, but it works absolutely perfectly here. And as he said, you have the raita on the top, the yogurt sauce to cool it down. And then you have just the perfect pat lafreda patty in the middle. It's such a well thought out burger. It works.
And a couple bites in, you can actually start to taste the spiciness.
He made a good point about that most burgers in New York, the spice comes from something else.
Right.
You put spicy sauce, you put hot sauce, whatever it may be. Here, the patty itself has all the seasoning. The mint chutney adds a little more, but this burger's got a kick. And like if you're thinking of Pakistani food, you are expecting that kind of flavor. You don't come for a Pakistani burger and expect something boring.
There's a lot of places in the city that make good burgers, but a lot of them kind of taste the same. If you want something that's completely unique, that's gonna have a lot of flavor, then this is your spot.
And not only that, you know what I just realized? There's no cheese in this.
Sure, don't need it.
Because usually my favorite burgers have some kind of a cheese component to them.
And some sort of like secret sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like there's no secrets here. Like you saw everything. It's pretty basic actually. Everything here was just equally good to me.
Everything was delicious.
We didn't really talk much about the fries. Let's just eat them. It's something called masala fries. All right, talk.
Crispy.
It has the kind of spices on top that I think you would expect from a Pakistani restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, we almost forgot the curry ketchup.
Homemade.
A lot tangier, a lot spicier than your typical Heinz ketchup.
Heinz got nothing on this.
Heinz got nothing on this. I filmed at the Hue, one of their locations in Manhattan at a food hall. I just had the lamb chops, heard so much about this burger, and it's like, I think it's actually blown away my expectations. I thought it was gonna be good, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good.
And this, if you really think about it, this is kind of like a representation of New York. You have the American burger in combination with an immigrant cuisine, which is Pakistani food.
Yeah, this is a total New York City burger. You're absolutely right about that. Good immigrant story. I always love to support that. Inside this pizza shop could be New York's best burger.
This burger looks delicious. It's been on my list for over a year. Very excited to try it.
We're finally gonna do it. Let's get in there.
Very kind of like rustic looking.
Like a rustic Italian restaurant, which pretty much what it is.
They got the oven going in the back.
First thing we see is the pizza oven.
Hi, my name is Sammy Pico. I'm the head chef at Emily's in Brooklyn.
Do you know anything about the history of like how Emily came to be? I know there's like multiple locations, right?
Well, the history that I know is that Matt and Emily went to college together. They came down to Brooklyn and they loved pizza so much that they decided to open up a pizza place. And they named it after her.
How did this burger come to be?
Well, it's a totally different burger. It's like, you know, the way it's built on a pretzel bun, Korean gochujang, caramelized onions that are sweet as well. Everything together, just like made a totally different type of burger. It's just so awesome. The sauce dripping on the side, it's big, it's juicy. Oh, and on top of that, we get our burgers from Pat Lafreda, and the burgers are 7-ounce dried aged beef. That makes the burger taste way better. Me and the chef used to work here all the time, and it just got popular out of nowhere, and people used to come from different countries, different states, to try to make it here, to make 24 burgers every day. It was insane.
So it was a limited?
It was limited every day. Wow. Monday through Friday, and Monday to Thursday was 24, and then on the weekends we used to do 75. And we used to have lines from here all the way to the corner. All right, so let's get this burger started. So we're gonna take the patty, we're gonna salt it, flip it, salt it on this side. There you go. We're gonna cook it off for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We're gonna take our beautiful burger bun that we buy from Balter Bakery. We buy it every day, daily fresh. We're gonna butter it, all right? So we got a nice char. We add a little pepper to it. Then we add some cheddar cheese. I'm gonna take it off, I'm gonna let it rest. This is the special Emmy sauce that people go crazy over. So basically what it is Korean gochujang mixed with some mayo. And it has different ingredients, but if you wanna find out how to make it, you gotta get the book.
You don't see this too often at restaurants. You could buy their cookbook and you could literally try to recreate the entire Emmy burger. They even give you the secret ingredients if you wanna know what they are.
These are caramelized onions that go on the burger. People love onions. Then we put it in the oven. So what we're seeing is an abomination. So we're seeing, can't get better than this. There you go, a very messy burger. So we give a lot of napkins out.
They provide bibs for this thing?
They're gonna give you gloves.
Gloves, good idea.
They're gonna give you gloves.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That was juicy.
What have we gotten ourselves into today, huh?
Hopefully something good.
This is the signature. It even comes with a steak knife in the middle because, as he said, this is one messy burger. We've got the Pat LaFrida dry-aged beef patty, Grafton cheddar, caramelized onions, the Emmy sauce, and we have, of course, on top, a pretzel bun, which I think it makes it pretty unique. Do you know many burgers with pretzel buns?
I don't think I've ever had a burger with a pretzel bun before.
I'm not sure if I have either. And like the fact that this is at a pizza place, a pizza restaurant, makes me excited.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I mean, look at all the juices just seeping through this. Cheese everywhere. As you said, we need gloves and maybe a bib.
Yeah.
All right, enough talk. Let's take a big bite. There are so many layers to this thing. Sweet, little salty, a little umami there. Like, what have I just eaten? This is amazing.
It's juicy, a little bit of spicy. I can see why they need the pretzel bread because you definitely need something that's gonna hold it together. You know?
I was afraid it would fall apart a little bit, but it's actually holding up, you're right. And the patty is fantastic too. Like I really noticed that on the first bite, the Pat LaFrida. Oof.
I was just thinking about how the owners met because they both went on a date to grab pizza and how this would probably not be a good first date spot because you're getting messy.
It's like a third or fourth date. I don't know if I can think of a burger I've ever had that was just like this intense with a mixture of flavors. Some people would want to cut this in half, but I don't think there's a need.
I don't think so.
I think you need to embrace the messiness here. You want to dive in for the fries?
Very nice and crispy.
I wasn't expecting the fries to be this good, but burger can pretty much carry the show. Fries are actually really solid though.
Yeah, it's hardly ever the case where you go to a place and they're good at burgers and good at pizzas. Usually they're kind of mediocre at both.
Usually they're mediocre. It's still holding up after all this time.
They picked the right bun for sure.
You take enough bites, you start to look at the big picture here, and I do think that the Emmy sauce is what holds us all together.
For me, it's the caramelized onions.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he had us back there, he took the patty off the grill and he tossed it in the oven. And he was explaining to us that he did it because he wants the cheese to melt into the patty and for everything to be warm once he hands it out to the customers.
And then that's that common pattern that we tend to see with really viral dishes or food that has just taken over a city that's become really popular. Is like the attention to detail, little things like that. So Luis, with your Instagram account, you're really on top of all the viral trends right now in New York, and you've noticed that like this type of burger isn't as big anymore.
Right. Lately, there's been a huge trend to smash burgers. It's refreshing having a burger, essentially a regular burger, and breaking it up a bit, because I've been covering a lot of smash burger spots.
That is what's going viral right now, but I think there's nothing wrong with the classic.
Right.
I'm actually trying to think if this reminds me of any burger I've had. The only one would be the one at No Wan, which is like a Korean-American fusion, just because of like the bold flavors of the sauces. This flavor profile is very different, but that's just a saucy burger that really takes over.
But this would remind me of something that you might see in like Latin America, really saucy like that, with the caramelized onions. I know we love that in Mexico.
To make this like a truly Latino, I think we would have to add like a
jalapenos.
Jalapenos and maybe like egg. You can customize it how you'd like, but they said they think the best temperature is medium rare for this. I got no issue with that whatsoever. I mean, they were in the Michelin Guide in 2018, so this is a spot that has had lots of attention over the years. Even Sammy was telling us when the burger first came out, it was a limited edition thing, and people were waiting around the corner for it. Now, you don't have to wait around the corner, just come in and definitely enjoy it. Inside Jubilee Marketplace in Greenpoint could be New York's best burger deal, where each burger costs less than a Subway swipe. And Luis, you've covered this spot before, right?
Yeah, I have. And if you know me, you know I love deals, and this deal is very hard to top.
I've never heard anything cheaper than this.
My name is Young Kim. I'm the CEO and owner for Jubilee Marketplace. Somewhere for everybody to just come, eat, enjoy.
I mean, I'm looking right behind you, the burger special, $2.15, $2.55. It's like prices have been slashed by 20 or 30 years.
So I can't take all the credit, right? Our burger menu was inspired by a childhood favorite of mine, which is White Manna from New Jersey. At the time, it was like $1 and change, and I kind of really wanted to recreate that.
I'm from Fairlawn, not too far from there. Where in Jersey did you grow up?
I grew up in the Fort Lee area.
Fort Lee?
Yep. Right there, Hackensack. and Jersey City.
I mean, I'm curious with a price like that, how do you guys make money?
I mean, short answer is we don't. Per burger, when I calculated it was something like 3 cents that we're left with.
3 cents you make per burger sold?
3 to 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Because our butcher downstairs is whole animal, local pasture-raised animals, we like to utilize all parts of the animal, especially the cuts that usually are not utilized.
Could you show us the butcher room?
Yeah, sure. Come on. So this is kind of our butcher case right here. We try to work with only local, exclusively local.
Yeah. So this isn't that common if you think about it, like a burger spot having the butcher shop right downstairs like this.
If we do run out, we could just literally
just go downstairs
and be like, can I get 100 pounds of ground beef? Happy Valley really helped us out to match the volume. Even with, I think, 1 steer, it wasn't enough.
So this is the actual ground beef they use in the burgers?
Yeah, we like to keep it like 70-30 to get that nice sear when we do smash it.
So the way I heard of you was on Instagram. Rob Martinez's video was excellent about this cheap, amazing burger. Was it like an overnight sensation?
Yeah, essentially we launched it, and then the following week, the chef owner from Bordertown came by, and he posted it on his Instagram, and then that caught Rob from Righteous Eat's attention, and then he came through, posted his video. I think that night, yeah, we were running out of meat, and the next following days too, we kept running out of meat. It was like all hands on deck.
You might be the hottest burger in New York right now.
I'm just very thankful. Like, everybody's been so supportive. Like, the comments on all the videos, they're very nice. So thank you for all the support. But yeah.
So we're gonna go from square one. So step one, we'll show a love by making meatballs. But with the meatballs, we put garlic confit inside of it. The burgers are thrown on a grill, smashed with love, added with some salt, some onions, some American cheese. Some people prefer the cheese, some people don't.
So the onions are like caramelized?
So at the beginning on the top, they're steamed, and then when they're flipped, they become caramelized. But we really do make our food with real love. All of our products is fresh that we use for it.
How long do the burgers take to cook?
When there's like a big number like this, they'll usually take 5-6 minutes. Okay. But if we're talking about like, it'll be like 5 singular, like they'll cook within like 2 minutes.
Do you know how big the patties are?
2.5 ounces.
2.5 ounces, okay. It was small. Most people want a couple of them. You get just have
Yeah,
one.
that was one order of 20.
A lot of burgers.
A lot. So our sauce is made in-house. It's been made by our chef, but I'm the one that usually makes it for upstairs. So it comes with ketchup, mustard, mayo, relish, and Frank's hot sauce. And it comes with a little bit of Dijon. Nobody will notice, but just a tad bit.
Oh, thank you. You know, what's crazy, Luis, is after all the huge burgers that we had in today's video, ending with these 2.5 ounce smash burger sliders, like, it's perfect. This was written out so well.
For sure.
And I loved Young's story about how this was inspired by white manna in New Jersey, North Jersey, where I'm from. And I'm ashamed to admit I've actually never eaten there. Ooh. I've always wanted to, so I think I'm gonna have to go to my home state. I mean, you were already telling me how good this was, right?
Right. I mean, it works out perfectly because they have the butcher shop downstairs so they can get the meat. And it's high quality meat. It may be a small burger, but they really care a lot about the process and providing their customers with something good to eat that's also affordable. $2.55. That's actually less than a Subway ride now.
You know, the closest I could say I grew up with on this was like White Castle. These look way better than White Castle burgers, way better. Got the pickles sticking out there, the potato buns. There's a lot of good things going on. All right, let's see if we have any appetite left. I think we have enough for a couple of these, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's rock. You know what? After having all of these kind of insane patties today with a lot of different ingredients going on, the simplicity of this actually really, really nice. The caramelized onions, patties nice and juicy. Yeah. I don't know if I want to use the word gourmet, but this is impressive.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they think about smash burgers, they associate it with it being dry, but this is actually a very juicy patty, and I think it comes down to the use of the onions, which adds more moisture to the meat.
Yeah. I think the real question is, if you were hungry, how many of these bad boys could you eat in one sitting?
Bro, last time I ate 7.
7?
Yeah.
Here's a good number for you guys. It is $30 for 14 of these. And the burger we had at Emily, which was amazing, was $31 for one. Now, it's a completely different process, completely different burger, but just think of the economics a little bit there, all right? You are right, though. The fact that they got the butcher shop downstairs allows them to keep the prices like this. And also, I think it's good marketing because you're funneling people
into the supermarket, they're probably gonna buy other things. I
Yeah, for
imagine
sure.
most people come here, they're not just buying one burger. They're gonna go shop for ramen. I don't know. They got a lot of cool stuff here, actually.
And here's a tip for you guys. They actually have a bacon, egg, and cheese for $3. So even in the morning, they have deals.
You know, Greenpoint is considered a very expensive neighborhood these days. Honestly, this is probably the last spot I would think would have a $2.55 cheeseburger. Addicting, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat more than one for sure. And you had an idea about what you would do with a sack of these, right?
Yeah, I think a good summer activity would be to order a 30-pack of this, take it down to Skyline Drive-In, which is 0.3 miles from here, and enjoy one of their drive-in movies. It has a really beautiful view of the New York City skyline from the outside. It's perfect during sunset.
And that right there is why you need to follow this man on Instagram and TikTok for all of his pics. He knows all the hot stuff in New York, so give him a follow, show him some love. Like most things in New York, there's so many different varieties of burgers. I know smash burgers are the hot thing right now. You know, these cheap sliders, great value. And then we had Emily, which was just a flavor explosion. Then we had the Pakistani burger. It's like, what can't you find in New York these days?
It kind of depends what you're craving that day. You know, if you want something that's gonna be simple but pack a lot of flavor, you're gonna go Pakistani. If you want something quick and you're looking to maybe save a couple bucks, you're gonna go here. But if you want something a little bit more saucy, that's gonna really fill you up and have that high quality dry aged meat, you're gonna go with Emily's.
Well, we've done videos in Queens, Manhattan, on their burgers. There's a lot of different varieties in this city, and plenty that we haven't covered yet, so tell me in the comments which ones we should cover.